Nice. Started with a nice close-up with the top of my head. That's
Here's
pretty.
your secret briefcase.
You guys notice any bald spots up there? Okay, I am actually adjusting my hair because of what I just saw.
There you go.
So Kyle was saying we're up and running now. We're gonna play some Versus System night with you or for you, hopefully. Kyle's giving you the thumbs up.
Yeah, I realize that thumbs up doesn't work. It looks like
No,
nothing, so I
we're
have
gonna
to-
be playing left to right, which is probably gonna be a little disorienting
left,
for our audience.
Right. Yeah.
No, see, I'm on the left.
Oh,
And
you're
on
the
the
left
right.
player.
Yes. Just like in a game of Versus System. So we've marked up our area here, and
Die check.
I don't know if we have any viewers. I hope Chris will pop in at some point and say something. Kyle, you can probably see the chat better than I can on the left.
Yeah.
We're probably not going to be able to make it out while we're playing, but we might be able to notice that people are actually chatting with us, and then we can, take the effort to take a better look at that. And are you adjusting your playfield extents?
Yes, I'm attempting to ascertain the fringes of my own little reality here.
So Kyle was saying, before we started, he was complaining, and I thought that would be a great thing to get.
That was a chair. Live and learn.
That would be a great thing to get on the stream, is that our playfield is kind of smaller than we're used to. We're going to try to make it work, and we'll see how that goes. I wanted us to have enough areas so that we could have a very discernible row of resources, and a very discernible front and back row, and a little bit of space in between, which is why I chose the sort of landscape layout that we're using. But that means we are a little cramped, left to right, so we might only be able to show off maybe 6 resources with this setup, and we can go to 8 or 10 sometimes. So
We can. If I play Kang,
we'll see
that
how
is a
that
risk.
works.
All
But
right.
anyway, welcome to Versus System, incorrectly played.
Yes.
First game.
I like that. Maybe that's what we should
Versus
call the
System
stream.
incorrectly played.
Playing games
Playing
wrong.
games incorrectly.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's not bad.
How to not play games.
So as you saw earlier today, I mentioned in the FAQ how we choose our decks. Is that you like to just pick one.
All right.
And I'm going to go ahead and roll so that I can play with you.
So I'm going to open with an S deck.
Oh my. Well, I only have 3 S decks, so I'm going to go ahead and roll this D6 here. And the result is 6, which I rolled it off stream. But you'll have to trust me, it's 6. Doesn't much matter. It means my 3rd deck, but that doesn't mean anything to you guys anyway.
This is true. It doesn't even mean anything to me.
That's true. It doesn't even mean anything to me.
What? Well, it doesn't mean anything to
Other
me.
than I'm playing this deck, but I don't immediately know which deck it is.
Nor
So
I.
I'm gonna put my life dice up here. Hopefully that's coming through okay.
I want our esteemed audience to know that I'm playing this deck in honor of Chris, who couldn't be here tonight because he moved to Texas.
Gosh, what are you? He hasn't moved to Texas. I'm actually hoping he'll be on the stream so that he's actually apartment hunting right now, or these last few days.
In Texas.
And yeah, in Texas, and won't be back till tomorrow, I believe. So.
What is
He
his
said
version
Mark
of
joins.
back though? He's not
Well, he's in L. He used to live in L.A.
right.
or near L.A. Not actually very near L.A., but nearer to L.A. than we are near L.A.
That's fair.
Certainly.
Big state.
And I'll be going down there next week, or probably starting Sunday. I'll be hanging out with Chris a little bit, and I'll be going to E3. Because, as I pointed out, also in the frequently asked questions or in the About the Streamers sections, we are both game developers.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that makes what we're doing a little interesting to our viewers. And it may or may not. Who knows? That could be self-absorption.
Yep. Stranger things have happened, but you don't know until you try.
Now, Rachel, I don't want to call you out if you don't want to be part of this stream, but the one thing you could do to help us out, if you would so very briefly, is check in on the stream and see if we're actually streaming and audible and that sort of thing. You don't have to stick around.
Can you do
You
that?
don't have to do it if you don't want to, but I'm always nervous when I'm streaming that
Yeah.
nobody can hear me, and because we don't have anyone watching right now.
That's a very good thing to check. Like, I see a little volume thing filling up.
Yeah.
Dear, can you watch the stream of us streaming from 3 feet away?
so I know which
Yeah,
deck
just
I
on your
have.
laptop. You're allowed to speak, honey. It's fine.
Now, you can be on the stream as much or as little as you want. If you want, we'll pretend you're not here, although we're talking to you for a few minutes now. So.
Would be
Well,
rather
I'm
awkward.
all shuffled. I'm going to
All right,
roll
yeah,
to
I'm
see
good to shuffle.
who gets to go first.
3 against, I'll use blue. 3.
Also
Let's
three.
try that. That's,
We do this a lot, too.
All right. Okay.
You are the winner.
All right.
You have cut my deck. And I will let the audience know that this is, in fact, I think, my most potent deck. But again, as I mentioned earlier, I only have 3 S decks. So
Indeed.
in the S category, it's a probability that you will encounter my most.
Yes. So I will go. Do I want odds or evens?
I think that's coming through really nice.
Yeah. Picture fine.
Twitch _ Kawaii Panda X. That's Kawaii. Panda X.
P-A-N-D-A.
I don't know how to spell the whole thing.
E-X.
I think she's got it.
I will go.
She's better educated than anybody else in this room.
That's true. I will go odds.
Okay.
Why not? I should have dusted this. This side of the table is
Is it
not
dusty?
normally used. It's just a little. It's a little filmy. It's
Was that a joke?
no, I mean yes, of course.
But
My
I'm
wit
sorry.
is unrivaled.
Yeah. You are filming the dust right now as we speak.
All right, so I'm gonna keep strangely and draw some cards.
Okay, so
I wonder if
I'm
I go
a
like that,
liar.
people can see my hand.
The
Yeah,
audience, well, I can't see his hand, and I can't make out his hand on the stream.
that's
so.
true. Yeah, it's possible if you full screen this. It's like a card cam. If I go like that,
Sure,
no, I'm
that's
just
not going to be anything.
no.
But I'm already, we're 10 minutes into our first stream, and I'm a dirty liar because now that I've looked at a few more cards from this deck, this is not my
your best
strongest deck.
yeah.
No, this is the other one.
Mhm.
They do share a lot of cards, so it's an easy mistake
Yeah,
to make.
yeah.
I did mulligan, by the way. That is what I just did.
Okay, I accept.
I'm
And
glad I did, but this is not a much better hand.
yes. Actually, I am. Yeah, that's okay. I'll do that.
So where's your life dice, Kyle? You don't have any life dice.
No, that's true. I should
I
fix
want to
that.
make sure that the life dice
I
are at
didn't
least
want to cheat. All right, we'll use
on screen, even if our audience members can't make them out.
Yeah. All right.
We'll find that out after this.
Start with 50 endurance.
This is our test stream, by the way. This is our first stream, and we're going to see all of the issues. Thereafter.
All right. So.
I will say it looks like the camera's super stable in this configuration.
Yeah.
Which is something I didn't expect.
Haha.
So we score 1 for us accidentally.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs left.
I'm very proud of myself. Like a thumb
you did
pointing
that
up.
correctly, yeah.
Yeah, it's like yeah.
I would have had to do one of these.
Yeah,
kind
well,
of
I did
things.
that first and learned from my mistakes. So in this case, put down a 1 resource. I do not have a 1 drop.
Aha. Well, I do have Winslow's Shout, and I did also promise our streamers we would read the cards in detail
that's
as they come into play.
pretty wise.
So Winslow's Shout is a 2/1, and his power is a Vengeance power. Vengeance is a keyword that means when he is stunned, this power triggers. His Vengeance power is, whenever Winslow's Shout becomes stunned, you may put target card from a KO'd pile on top of its owner's deck. And that can be a truly devastating power, but it usually doesn't stick around until it matters. And
That's
since
very
you have
true.
no character to recruit, I'm going to hit you for 2 with Winslow's Shout.
Probably a good play. That will go down to 48. It'll be interesting to view this at some later juncture and realize how many times we screwed up our life totals.
It could be, yeah.
That
Who
will
knows?
that will be novel. All right, next
What's
turn.
your username again?
Twitch _ KAWAIE. I'm sorry, KAII, like Hawaii, but with a K. Kawaii.
Kawaii.
It's cute. It's Japanese.
Well, that's adorable. I didn't know that.
Panda X. So does that make this my initiative?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I do not have a 2-drop.
Oh boy, fortunately for me. Put down a resource. I have Wesley Dodds, the Sandman. He's a reservist character, which is not in any way relevant. The rest of his power says, at the start of the combat phase, if you have the initiative, target player exhausts a ready character he controls.
No, I don't like this guy.
That character can't ready this turn.
What?
Also, conveniently, he will have a T-Spheres. T-Spheres.
Oh, no. Okay, now I know why you're doing this with Chris.
Yep.
Oh.
And it's especially, I had to keep the opening hand because of Wesley Dodds, which is Chris's favorite character in all Versus system. So T-spheres cost 1 less to recruit while you control a JSA character, which I do. Equipped character gets +3/+3 while in combat with another character of greater cost.
Well, joke's on you. I do not have a character.
True, that is true. But next turn, I hope. Actually, I wouldn't mind if you didn't. But if you did, I'm gonna T-spheres you.
We'll see what we can do.
Dear, can you hear us talking both in reality and through your
Well, she's got a 30-second delay, so.
Oh.
All right. Well, great. So we're working. Yay! All right, back to business. So you have a big. He's not big.
No.
You have a 2-drop who could be very big.
It could be
And
terrifying.
he's not in this circumstance, but it is your initiative, so I must exhaust Winslow.
Is that true?
And he can't ready.
No, it is your initiative.
It's my initiative. So I don't have to exhaust
That's right.
Winslow,
And he
nor does
made
he
ready.
have to not ready.
Yeah.
That was cogent, right?
That was very cogent.
Uh,
Jello, just like Jello.
So I'm going to reveal Battle for Metropolis, which is an ongoing plot twist from my resource row. An ongoing plot twist is a plot twist that has a continuous effect throughout the game. This ongoing plot twist has the effect ongoing. Revenge Squad characters in your front row get +1 attack. Winslow showed is a Revenge Squad character in my front row, so he gets +1 attack. I will now attack your character for 3.
That's a clever play that will be effective. I will take 2 damage because Winslow Shote is stunning Wesley Dodds.
And I will take 1 because Wesley Dodds is also stunning Winslow Shote.
For anybody unfamiliar with the notion, and we'll probably re-explain these rules on repeated and/or future streams, then I'll pass. The amount of damage I took was a result of the cost of the character that was brought into play, not the amount of damage Ian was attacking me for. That's why I took 2 instead of the 3 he was attacking for. For anyone who also hasn't noticed, every turn we draw not 1, but 2 cards.
You're such a good radio voice, Kyle. I'm glad I did this with you.
It's very funny you should mention that because I was just telling somebody today how people have told me I've had a radio voice. And it's happened like 3 or 4 times. You'll be pleased to know you are the 4th or 5th time that I have been told I have. Oh, definitely not today. I do the. I should read this card before I ramble more.
That was my initiative, so you should act
I
before
should do
you
stuff
you
before
chat.
I ramble.
And then we will.
I haven't played this deck since Chris quit requesting it, so
Poor guy. Poor Chris.
he better watch this.
Well, we're gonna upload this to YouTube afterwards, so we'll make him see it.
Yeah,
Even
that's
if
right.
he didn't see
That's a
it
fair
live.
threat. I am going to
he'll see it.
recruit Michael Holt,
Yeah.
Mr. Terrific. Yeah. He is a concealed character, so he exists in basically a separate untouchable zone. Exhausted JSA characters I control get +2/+2 while in combat with a character of greater cost. So for anybody not keeping track, should Wesley Dodds end up in combat with a character of greater cost, he will get +5/+5.
Yeah, we don't want that. That's my phone going. That's probably Chris telling us he's not going to be watching us tonight.
That's immensely
We'll
disappointing.
find out in just a second. I'm going to recruit my character first, though. My character is Great White. He is also a concealed character. He's a 4/4. And his power is other Arkham Inmates characters I control get +1/+1 while they're not adjacent to any characters. Now, I have a problem here because while Great White is an Arkham Inmates character and he affords that ability to other Arkham Inmates characters, Winslow Shote is in fact a Revenge Squad character. But I'm going to remedy that immediately by playing Dimensional Deal, which is another ongoing plot twist. Dimensional Deal's prerequisites are: to play, choose up to 2 affiliations among characters you control. I will, of course, choose Arkham Inmates and Revenge Squad. Ongoing crossover those affiliations. Crossover is a keyword in this game that means that those affiliations and all characters with those affiliations now have both affiliations. It also says Revenge Squad defenders in my front row get +1 attack. So we make too much noise for you, Rachel? We will have to enunciate a little more than we usually do for this stuff.
That is true.
So now I have 2 Arkham Inmates and Revenge Squad characters in my front row, both of whom have +1 attack, both of whom have +1 attack while defending, and Winslow Shote, since he's not adjacent to any character, has also +1/+1.
Not gonna lie, that's sort of
my
annoying.
dude is not only smaller than you, your dude, not triggering any of your abilities, He's also much bigger than your dude, triggering all of my abilities.
That's kind of annoying. Yeah, so unfortunately, I think that means your defense is still 2, correct?
Let's see. Yeah, it would just be 2.
I'm going to attack you for 2.
Oh, well, let's do this properly. I must exhaust him, correct?
Oh, yeah.
And then
actually,
ready.
let's be clear. Yeah, you pick, so you select, so you could exhaust either character.
Oh, that's interesting.
But they do not ready next turn.
Well, we're going to choose Winslow.
Okay.
And we're our trusty white dice, because I'm going to put it down
Oh, yeah, to sort of
remind myself not to ready him at the end of this turn.
I will acquire a convenient white die. Eventually I will.
I wonder how much glare I see. There's a light reflected in the table, which is weird because I don't see a light source really directly pointed at it.
Yeah, that's.
I have no idea if our viewers can actually see our cards at all.
Is that? Yeah.
Whoa, yeah. So we'll see how terrible that looks when we review the. You give me a thumbs up again.
I am.
Review the stream later, and we'll fix it if it's a problem.
Interesting. No, dear, we did not. A test message was sent, and we did not see it via the chat. So though we are broadcasting, we are not receiving.
Why is our chat not working?
Messages. Did you send that message in the future, honey?
No. We were having trouble with our chat earlier. I'll tell you what. Just to resolve this sort of quickly, midstream here, I'm going to disable our chat view in the stream. And instead, we're going to pull up the dashboard and watch the chat from there.
In the meantime, I'm going to put a white die on Winslow's shout. We use dice as counters. Sometimes the number on the die means something. Sometimes it does not mean something.
I added a section for that in our facts, so
oh wow,
should be made super clear. So weird. I don't see anything here either. I installed this plugin to try to assist with the chat, and I think it's causing more problems.
I am getting that impression.
Go away.
Should we be untitled broadcast? I feel like that's so vague.
I think that's this thing again. I think that's the plugin. I'm going to install the plugin. Uninstall the plugin after the stream. So I'm just going to refresh this, and we should actually see our stream. Oh, this is actually. I'm not. Sorry.
Are we still broadcasting?
We should be.
Famous last words.
Rachel said we were.
Well, but you just refreshed something.
Yeah.
Did you refresh our ability to stream?
No, the stream is coming from a different program. This is what I want to see. So here's our dashboard.
Oh,
this is what we look like to other people. So there is somebody watching our stream, but that may actually be us.
Oh.
So the lioness, is that you?
That's me.
I can see you and hear you. Mwahahaha.
Aha! We saw it.
True.
Are they advertising to us?
No, they're advertising. Well, kind of. Yes and no.
All right, moving on. I accept that as a generic enough answer. It is vague and irrelevant. So more importantly, you have been exhausted.
Yes, I'm exhausted and I do not ready.
Yeah. So that's the thing you did. I think I still attack you. I'm going to attack you.
I think we're stunned.
Yeah,
is that true? I only
true.
have 2 defense, but you are not boosted.
Correct.
So I will not take any breakthrough.
That is also correct.
I will just take 1 from now.
I will take 2, which is unfortunate.
So I chose to exhaust Winslow. Let me not.
Keep that
reminder counter.
That's right,
I chose to exhaust Winslow so then I could follow up with the attack with Great
course.
White for 5.
Since
Kyle has no visible characters, he cannot defend against this attack. However, the same is true of his upcoming attack with his hidden dude.
I will attack you for 4.
All right.
You came out ahead in that exchange,
4.
but I'm all right with that.
I'll take what I can get.
So as long as we each
Winslow is
only
not
have,
ready, but I am no longer unable to ready him.
Oh, interesting. As long as we each have only a single visible character, or pardon me, a single stunned character, they all get to come back. If we have multiple stunned characters, they in fact start not coming back. True story. So now does your initiative.
It is my initiative. I have a couple of options. I'm going to think very carefully about my options.
It's a good
Actually,
plan.
I'm going to check on that text from Chris and see what's up with that, because it would be really nice if he...
Yeah, we are up to a gigantic 2 viewers. Our number has doubled in the past few seconds. I wonder
Hey.
if that's Chris.
I don't think so. He just texted me that the Wi-Fi is not working in his hotel.
So that is probably not him then.
I also got a tweet from my friend and coworker, Frank S.H.I.E.L.D. And we were having a Twitter argument about the death of Gawker
Oh.
and Kotaku and how useful it is for consumers. And he makes a good point.
Games bloggers are dead, yo.
Yes.
Didn't you hear?
Yeah, it's pretty big news.
How dead are they? Is there recent news?
Well, Gawker, I think just today, or at least it broke just today, they are declaring bankruptcy to get out of their debt to Mr. Hulk Hogan.
Oh. Yeah, there you go. That's a thing you can do.
Which, according to them, is a terrible plot by the evil villainous Peter Thiel, but whatever.
Yeah. Because of course.
Boy. I wish I had a ready character. It would make me feel more confident about what I'm doing. So I'm going to be recruiting Livewire.
I need confidence to play this game.
Livewire's power is she gets +2 attack while all of my characters are in my front row. That is the case at this very moment, so she has 9 attack, or 10 if you also consider my ongoing plot twist.
See, this is where you're supposed to be counter-stunnable.
Oh, and plus Great White makes her 11.
That's a true story.
I feel like Great White might be off camera.
Unacceptable. Move Great White gradually until he is on camera.
Oh, that's the delayed stream, so I don't know what I did at all.
Look at the
there.
dice. Look at the dice. The dice will tell us.
Oh, he's close enough.
Yeah.
Right, there you go.
Yeah, so,
there you go. That's
Oh,
funny.
yeah, the delay is pretty great. As though we were playing with the very nature of time.
Well, here, the other thing I can do is now that we killed the chat stream,
Yeah.
I pulled this other thing up for the chat stream, but we can still watch the live stream on the broadcasting software, which is, got my hair in the shot again.
Way to get your
That is
hair.
very unattractive. I need to stop doing that. So now we have the...
On the contrary, it's like a Vidal Sassoon commercial.
Oh, God.
Which all of our viewers are
like
big
before,
fans of.
the before
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah. Comedy. I am going to recruit Charles McNider, unfortunately named fellow Dr. Midnight.
Oh, nice.
Another concealed character. And I'm also going to align my rows here. There's the front row, supporting row, and resource row. Those are the only rows. So he has activate, move target character you control to your hidden or visible area.
I see. This is not going to go great for me this turn, I don't think.
That is my hope, yes.
So your dude, when in combat with my dude, will be +5/+5.
Which I unfortunately must point out would not make him currently strong enough to stun Livewire.
That is true,
So you should attack Wesley Dodd.
but it's pretty close.
It's very close.
Yeah. I also would like to point out that my gigantic character is almost also not capable of stunning your 2-drop.
That's also true. So well, that's not true. You have +2 attack because you're all in the front row, +1 attack from Great White, +1
Yeah, it's
attack
4,
from
so
that
my-
plot twist.
My attack is 11, and your defense is 8. All right. Well, I guess
That's
not
pretty
super low.
sound.
That's 3.
I'm
3
taking
points.
breakthrough.
All right. All right.
All right.
So, yeah, I don't really have any recourse. I will just attack.
Yes, you have fallen
For
right into the
11.
only play you have, and by that I mean trap. I'm going to review my options here, as one is wont to do. What is this crazy thing? Okay. Yeah. I am going to play Brothers in Arms. And before I read this card, just to refresh everyone's memory. So again, I'm +5/+5, so my attack is currently 7. Brothers in Arms is an expensive card to say. It says an additional cost to play it. Exhaust a non-attacking, non-defending JSA character you control, and I will exhaust Mr. Terrific.
Terrific.
Terrific. Target attacker or defender you control gets +X attack this attack, where X is the attack of the character you exhausted.
Okay.
It's pretty expensive.
So he's big enough for the... No, it's not terribly expensive.
Well, it's a good...
You weren't going to really do much else this turn, I don't think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm counter-stunned. My attack still is 11.
Yep, so this is all characters in this game have the magic equivalent of trample. So because your attack was 11 and my defense was 8, I will take 2 for the stun and 3 breakthrough. It's 5 damage. And then I'm going to attack Winslow Shout for 7.
Interesting. Attack. I assumed you would defend yourself against Great White. That is going to hurt a lot, so that's probably a good play.
I'm going to take damage back. My hope is that you will lose a character.
Yep.
Because even your weenies are prickly.
Yeah. I don't want Winslow around anymore. I could take 7 damage to him as I'm about to, or 6, I guess.
6 damage.
So I will take 6 damage.
Yeah. We'll buy the book it. Yeah.
We'll buy the book. We'll try to stick to it.
Yeah.
We're not good about it. We kind of rush things lately.
Yeah.
So I'm going to 34, and then I will attack you for 5. It's just 5.
That is 5. A mere 5. That will put me at 29. Eventually I will find the 2 on the die. There we go.
Now, the way verse system works at the end of the turn, the recovery phase, is you may pick one of your stun characters to recover. That hasn't mattered until this point, but now I have 2 stun characters. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Livewire here.
And I, of course, will recover my 1 character.
Lose Mr. Shoat, and he goes to my KO'd pile over here.
Although it's a minor note, it is worth qualifying by saying you do not have to recover a character, you can just lose them. This matters sometimes if you have a very small character in play that you feel is a vulnerability. So now we are entering my initiative. So I've drawn some cards. That's good. It's part of my plan. That's a thing. That is a thing. So I have a choice. Oh, interesting. Oh, that's really weird. Okay. Won't spoil that fun until it's until I'm ruined. I am going to bring out. First, I'm going to put down a resource. Want to do this one? That is just weird. We'll do this. I am going to recruit Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman says Earth 2.
Quite large.
She's quite large. No offense, Wonder Woman. She has Earth 2. Defenders you control have reinforcement. Reinforcement is the anti-breakthrough power. Neither of my characters have range, so both of them will be in the front row. Only the visible area here defends. Hidden characters cannot defend, so whenever we're out of the visible characters again, you can strike straight through.
Well, she makes my extra large 5-drop not so extra large, but I have.
He's
Mr.
still pretty
Freeze.
large. He's still pretty large.
Characters adjacent to him can't ready. Of course, there are no characters adjacent to him at this moment.
Yeah, that's true. It is worth noting that Wonder Woman's awesome power of giving my Earth 2 defenders reinforcement currently only applies to her.
Excellent. I appreciate that, Wonder Woman.
Yes. I need to review my my cards. That's what I need to do. I need to review them. And then I need to decide how I'm going to attack.
My speculation is you will actually switch to defensive a little bit this turn.
That's an interesting speculation. I mean,
But
your guys
I don't know what you have in terms of plot twists, but
very big.
I think this is the turn you're going to exhaust your 4-drop for a defender.
So first, I will observe that it being my initiative, you must choose to exhaust a character.
I must exhaust a character who can't ready. Oh, that does change the equation somewhat. Well, of course, that's going to be Mr. Great White.
He's the
Since he
least
can't
useful.
ready, that's kind of depressing. So,
Boy,
yeah,
sure
there's no
wish
reason for you
that,
to play defensive. I forgot that ability.
Sure wish that he wasn't hidden. Alright, so what is the best way for me to do this? That is the question. The problem is, you see, your characters are all very big.
That is what this deck does.
And I'm not too fond of it. So how do I do this? I think we're both losing a character this turn. That's what I think.
My characters are a lot more valuable than your characters.
Well, Mr. Terrific's pretty terrific.
But I'm chat.
Yeah. So I think my best bet is to team attack. How do I do this? This is peculiar. Man, I wish I didn't have to team attack. Maybe there's a way I don't have to team attack. That would be very clever. One of the things that we both very much like about Versus is it actually requires a fair amount of pondering in certain situations. And one of the things that we like about our crazier version is that I must ponder very carefully my first attack, because after my first attack, Ian will get to attack me back with any character that he has remaining. So I think whatever I do, I need to attack Mr. Freeze, because Wesley, Livewire over there is easier to stun on the counterattack, which means I need to take out Mr. Freeze first. And unfortunately, I think that means I use Wesley Dodds and Mr. Terrific.
It's going to be very big because they both benefit from his power.
So this exhausted JSA characters get +2/+2. He's also getting +3/+3. So 7 attack here, 6 attack here. My attack is 13.
I may have to make a close play here. Boy, the JSA are so challenging.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, that close play is I'm going to stun your 3-drop and not your 2-drop. Much as I would prefer to get rid of your 2-drop.
They are both valuable in different ways, for sure.
The reason I'm going to do that is because right now that I have gained the initiative, there is a chance you need to take some stun damage.
I do need to take some stun damage. I need to take 3
There's
stun
a
damage.
chance I can stun his 2-drop with Livewire and not get stunned back. Because the last time we did this, he had to play a plot twist to make that so.
That is true.
And if that works...
I do have another one, so I will exhaust this fellow over here. It's the same plot twist again. Brothers in Arms is an additional cost to play to exhaust a non-attacking, non-defending JSA character to give an attacker or defender +X attack, where X is the attack of the exhausted character, which in this case is 7. 7 + 5 is 12.
That was costly. Maybe not more costly than it would have been the other way. It's kind of a hard judge.
I do get stun. I'm going to lose a very valuable character this turn, but so is Ian, and I do take 2 from that. What was your attack?
My attack was the same as last time, so it was 11.
Take a fair amount. So 11. My defense is lower this time. My defense is 6, so I'm actually taking 7 damage. Yes.
I took my 4, but it's going to be followed with quite a bit more.
It will indeed. So I'm down to 19, and Wonder Woman, of course, will attack you for 10.
I will take 10. Nothing I can do about it.
Yep.
Kyle takes the lead. I think I am going to lose this game.
So we both lose something valuable. I'm going to review my hand. Now, I have to lose one of these too, but I'm going to look at my hand before making that decision.
My draw has been very funny.
Oh, man. This is so good. He's starting to be a liability, especially if I lose Mr. Terrific, which is a problem. But if I lose Mr. Terrific, then, I mean, you can just keep exhausting Great White, so I think he's done his thing.
I'm going to make a second row of resources just to keep these on camera as best I can.
Yeah.
We usually don't. We usually go left to right, but we're working with a little bit of restricted space here. By the way, I am really happy with how this camera setup is working.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I was worried about having to set something else up to stream what we do, and maybe I don't.
Yeah, this is pretty solid. I think if we just had another 6 inches, that's really all it would need, because the field of view would increase so much.
Yeah. Higher is better. It's hard to get higher, though.
That is
With a single
true.
piece. I mean, without investing.
That is true. So I am going to propose that you now.
Oh, I do have
the
initiative. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was admiring our camera.
No, it's
instead of
easy to do.
Playing versus system. All right, I have Doomsday,
Yeah,
who has loyalty reveal. Loyalty reveal means I can only recruit him if I have another Revenge Squad character or if I reveal from one from my hand.
Right.
I do have other Revenge Squad characters,
true.
so he just comes right on in the
true.
And he has no powers. He's just a big dude. That's what Doomsday does.
He is a big dude. Yeah. That's a good one, I guess. I'm going to recruit Captain Marvel. He's a 1/1 6-drop who is reservist. I'm also reservist means you can recruit them from your resource row. And I'm going to put something into place. Let's see, we're at 19 life. Man, this is going to be a bloody game. Captain Marvel has the following power. He does not come into play with a cosmic counter, but I may discard a JSA character card and say Shazam to put a cosmic counter on Captain Marvel. If I do this, he gets a cosmic counter, which is just one of these. Now, cosmic counters, for the record, go away when a character is stunned. So, for the sake of argument, I will say Shazam and discard a JSA card, giving him this cosmic counter. While he has it, he gets plus 13/13 and has flight.
14/14. He's a big dude.
He's a big dude. I will also point out, as a reminder, Wonder Woman's text is that Earth 2 defenders I control have reinforcement. That currently applies only to her still. But it does matter.
Oh, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. It's funny that exhaust mattered.
It is kind of funny. Good job, Dad. Good job.
Jeez. Well, you can stun anybody on my team with your 2 hidden characters.
Yeah.
Because of your 1 hidden character's annoying power.
That is correct. That is why I chose to keep him.
Yep,
Even though Dot is great.
Presently, any of my characters can stun any of your characters without getting stunned back, but only just barely, and that hasn't been working out too great for me.
To be fair, Mr. Freeze cannot stun Captain Marvel without getting stunned.
Oh,
back.
sure.
Doomsday. Doomsday is, unless I am mistaken, a gigantic attack and a 14 defense.
Yeah.
That means Captain Marvel is exactly big enough to stun him currently.
He's a 14, huh?
As long as he has a cosmic counter. It's worth noting that I may Shazam as many times as I want in a given turn, so long as I discard a character card each time.
I don't understand why that would be relevant, but... maybe.
Well, if I feel like saying it more.
Oh, well, you can't give more than 1 cosmic counter to a character?
Is that true? I bet
Yes.
that's in the rules. I bet I can give him bunches of cosmic counters.
No, a character may only have 1 cosmic... I mean, I assume, as you point out, you could trigger an effect that would give him a cosmic counter, but he would not get the cosmic counter.
Yeah.
He cannot get the cosmic counter.
Yeah.
That's how that works. Boy. Well, I get... I guess my play is to make you fight through me. I think you can. That's disappointing.
It's open.
I don't get to kill you this turn. I think maybe you don't get to kill me, but I'm not sure how much that matters anymore.
Yeah, me neither.
So I will be attacking Wonder Woman with Doomsday. I'll leave it to you to try to get through my team
Right. So
hereafter.
your defense is currently 14.
Yep.
My attack is a mere 12 at this moment. Well, yeah. That is a thing that is true. Yeah, I'm afraid that'll work. Cannot get you back.
But she is reinforced, so I'm not dealing you much damage in the process.
So I will take 5. From 19 to 14. Now I gotta think about this next attack carefully. It's tempting to want to maul both of your characters, which I could do, but at the expense of something of mine, which I don't like. Maybe at the expense of a lot of things of mine. So you are 1-1, an additional 1 from...
+1 attack always while they're in my front row.
Yeah.
And +1 attack for defenders in my front row.
Right. So right now, at least at face value, Mr. Freeze does not have enough attack to stun Captain Marvel. That seems like a thing. But you probably can do stuff. Yet, I don't think I have a choice. Captain Marvel will attack Mr. Freeze. 14.
I do have another copy of Battle for Metropolis, which is +1 attack, which ties us.
Can't do nothing about it.
Nothing about it. So I'm going to take some breakthrough, so that's not great exchange. I will take 5 damage. Your attack was 14.
Yep.
My defense 11, thanks to Great White. So I will take an additional 4 for 9. I go to 6.
8.
Oh no, is that dead even?
Oh man.
I screwed up. Well, this game belongs to
oh,
Kyle then.
Wow, interesting. Interesting. Well.
And what is his bonus? 1/1?
Plus 2 plus
2.
2. Is it enough?
It's
9
probably,
and 6. That's
yeah,
15 to your 14.
Oh.
I must try it,
No,
even though it's a little close.
Gonna work. Oh man.
Oh, boy.
Hit me exactly.
That is.
On turn 6. We don't usually end games on turn
well,
6. Only very aggressive games end on turn 6.
These are aggressive.
This was an aggressive game. And again, we're great right ready. I could tie us up and we'd be going to 7.
That's true. That's quite true.
Well, actually, I'd be killing you more because I have the 2 plus 1 attack.
Great White. Did we do something wrong?
I don't believe so.
Turn 6. Oh, it's turn 6. Right, we're not on turn 7 yet.
Correct.
Right. Okay. I was going to say, wait a minute, we're on turn 7. Great White should be ready. Crap, I've lost. But no, I won.
Yeah. So I will, of course, stun your 4 drop.
Yep.
I will be stunned and go to exactly 0, which is
4.
sufficient to end the game. Game doesn't end until the end of the recovery phase, but there's not much going on here. It's gonna
interesting note to follow up on. One of the things that's cool about this game also is the game doesn't end immediately when one player reaches 0. So had Great White been ready, he would have been able to attack back and with his plot twist deal additional damage. So, and then when we enter the recovery phase, the player with the lowest life total, and you can in fact go negative, would be the loser. You can still tie in the negatives, in which case you go to another turn. Man, that was a slugfest of a game. Vicious.
You started with S decks. These are our most brutal of decks.
Well, it had to be. It had to be that way. That's the nature of it.
For Chris's benefit.
For Chris's benefit, I know that as he is not watching now, he does not know, and therefore does not care.
He will know,
and he will care, but at the time of this recording, he will not. All right. So I'm going to select a new deck. I wonder if anybody's still watching this. Move the. Can I move the thing?
You can. The icon that indicates it. Actually, one of the byproducts of the thing I just installed is it changed the layout of this page. So
there's still 2 people
there's
here,
2 people
and
here,
I know.
So one of them is us, and one of them is probably Rachel.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Are we our own?
I do
viewer?
believe we count as our viewer as long as we are on the dashboard. I'm not sure of that though.
It could be so. Maybe we have a real viewer.
I've only been streaming for a week, so.
Yeah. And I don't know anything about it.
It often seems like I have exactly one viewer, who I assume is me.
Yeah, it probably is. Dear, are you still watching?
Do you have the website open in the browser?
I don't think so.
Oh, maybe we
have a random stranger. That would be fantastic.
Welcome, random stranger who may or may not exist and be real.
If it were anyone I would know, I would assume they would say something in the chat.
Yeah, that's all right. Random strangers are welcome.
Could it be anyone? I would expect it would be someone from my office, but.
All right, so there is some random
we have a viewer,
stranger or a
Welcome,
ghost
viewer.
of a machine. Yeah, our banter has brought us far. So let's go to
what's next, sir.
Let's do a double A, but I don't know which one.
All right,
I'm looking
well,
for something to grab.
as usual, I'm going to roll my double A. I have 9 of those.
Yeah.
So I'm going to roll this 10-sided die, and the number 10 is going to come up about 3 times until an actual number within the range that I'm expecting comes up. And as I predicted, the number 5 came up.
How remarkably accurate. Standing to review my deck options here.
Hey, these guys I haven't seen playing in a while. I like these guys.
Yeah, you do like them guys. I don't feel like any of them. Those are more S decks. What is this? Is this A decks? You are also S decks. They don't have only S decks. What's going on?
You
here?
have a lot of S decks. You have more S decks than anybody in our small group of people who play Versus System incorrectly.
Yeah, that's right. Which is technically, I suppose, down to 2.
And I think I had the least, so
Yeah.
our remaining matchups are a little worse for the wear for that relationship.
That is true. That is true. So I'm going to set the S ones aside so I don't confuse myself anymore. Are you S?
You pit an S deck against my double A, that is not going to go very well.
That is not. I might have.
I believe you have 7 or 8 S decks at this point.
I'm up to 9 in
9?
my counting. My goodness.
Really?
Well, we promoted several.
We have promoted some.
All right, these guys aren't.
Stop making decks so well, Kyle.
Well, yes, and for those who are not aware, the later sets were a little stronger, and I did buy into those. I mean, that's one of the values of our classification system. It is that it doesn't matter if I end up with stronger decks because they will only go against Ian's stronger decks.
I rolled a 1 to see who goes first.
It'll be easy enough to beat. As predicted, it's easy enough to beat.
You doubled it.
I doubled your number. Which cannot happen if you roll any number other than 1.
Is that true?
No.
Well, thank you for that.
For example, if you were
2
to
or
roll
3.
2 or 3.
Well, you said it with conviction. I was briefly convinced.
I did. I'm a very convincing guy.
Oh, we have good times. This is why we're doing this. I'm
Yep.
hoping that we are as entertaining to you as we are to each other.
Oh, man. Well, and so long as we don't bore each other, I don't care what anyone else thinks. Even you, random visitor.
Aw. Don't disparage our random visitor.
The only one we'll ever get.
Yes.
If we... I can't even get you to say, and if we got another one, we double our number, and it's the only time we can ever do that.
That's also not true.
Which is also, in streaming land, far less true.
So I just want to point out, like I did mention in the
Oh.
text portion of my Twitch channel that we are both game developers, and this is a very clear indicator that I am an engineer,
Yes.
and Kyle is a designer.
I am a designer. But I've been told I'm an engineer at heart.
Well, he's got some good engineering sense. Not the math skills, though.
No, not the math skills. Fuck calculus. Apologies, R-rated stream. PG-13, actually. We're allowed 1 F-bomb.
Are
We're
we?
still PG-13.
I'm not marked. I don't know how important it is. I'm
It's
not marked
not.
as
It's not at
mature
all.
content, but I did mention in the text that like, we use some salty language sometimes.
As a rule of thumb, if you're broadcasting on Twitch, you're probably R-rated, and actually sometimes worse. So
I'm going to keep these initial
I won the
cards.
roll.
They're
What
not
deck am I
awful.
playing? I don't
I'm
know.
not even. Why would I know?
I'm going to assume that I'm going the deck I think I'm going. I enjoy the novelty of surprise, which is why I'm speaking vaguely, which will last until turn 1 or 2. I will go... I think I should go odds again. I think it's another odds deck. Some decks are better going first, some are not.
Odds. Okay.
Oh god, that draw is going away. And I'm drawing more cards. That's the mulligan
I
rule.
like that song.
It's a good song. It's going to result in much better
Mulligan
cards.
song.
These are better cards. These are acceptable. These are in the realm of I don't hate them. And for anyone wondering, the mulligan is in fact part of the normal rules. You draw 4 cards at the beginning. If you don't like them, you can put them on the bottom of your deck and then draw 4 more. That is this game's version of the mulligan. You may only do that once per game. I do have a 1-drop. I have the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. The S.H.I.E.L.D. agent is everybody's favorite agents.
0-2s.
They're 0-2s. When they interplay, you get pinged for 2.
Yay.
I'm winning.
Well, you're not gonna like this then.
Oh.
Oh, never mind. You're fine. I have no 1-drop. I
What?
bet you hated that.
It's terrible. It's terrible. I'm going to take you for nothing.
Okay, well then I will take nothing.
Yeah, I feel good about that.
Nothing.
It's a moral victory.
That does actually count as an attack, so if powers were to trigger,
That's right.
were you to deal breakthrough to me, for
Oh,
example.
boy. I sure drew these cards that I just drew. It is now your initiative.
Yes.
Go get him, champ.
I'm going to do that thing I was excited to threaten to do last turn.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
going to recruit
Oh, no.
Huntress.
Huntress.
Huntress is hidden.
Concealed
Huntress
optional.
is concealed optional. I'm going to make her hidden. So I'm playing the Birds of Prey. Her power is she gets -3/+3 while visible. Concealed optional means I may recruit her to either zone. My hidden area. I think I have her off camera. My hidden area or my visible area.
Her hidden area
So
was
she's
very hidden.
very hidden. Yes.
Yeah, no.
So most of the Birds of Prey have that power. So I'll keep an eye out. I tend not to actually repeat it.
It'll be a common theme, I'm sure. So I am going to recruit. I don't get to do this opening very often. I'm going to recruit Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman. She has to recruit, return a S.H.I.E.L.D. character you control to its owner's hand, which in this case is the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents.
She is quite large.
She is quite large, no offense, and she has flight and range and evasion and invulnerability. So flight and range are generic powers. You don't see those as keywords on cards. Range means you can attack from the back row. Flight means you can attack the opposing back row, even if they are otherwise protected by characters in front of them. Evasion, this is a total information dump, means that I can stun her when she is in combat. I think, anytime? Anytime.
You may just stun her.
I can stun her, and she will recover for free at the end of the turn. In other words, she does not count as my one recovery. Evasion
You recover,
is,
I believe, at the start of the recovery phase. Is that right?
I have no idea.
Right.
Sure, we'll go with it.
Something like that.
And invulnerability, perhaps most importantly in this context, means that I do not take her 2 stun damage every time she is stunned. So all that having been rambled on about, my formation is set. We'll put her in the sport just for good measure.
Well, I take less damage if I attack her, so I will attack her.
That is
But
probably
I
correct.
do still lose that exchange because of her invulnerability.
I will take
I will take 2 for my character, and he will take only the breakthrough, which is in this case is 1.
This is a massive emotional and moral victory again. So I will recover our characters, of course. So again, evasion means that if I fire that power of hers, she is. What is this draw doing? Oh, this is not what I want. If I fire her power, she's a free recovery. But if she is in fact stunned normally, the evasion free recovery power does not fire. So, in any case, it is now my initiative. I am going to recruit the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, which will ping you for 2. I am also going to recruit Deadpool to my concealed area. Now, Deadpool says, at the start of the recovery phase, he just returns to my hand if he didn't attack this turn. And that, I'm going to form. I think
feel like
form like
it's
this.
been a while, but I feel like we've done this matchup before.
Have
I
we?
feel like I made a lot of effort to not recruit any visible characters.
Yeah.
I remember getting hit by Deadpool over and over. And
I look forward to that immensely because he's useless if you have things to defend against him. He's got a very low defense value of 2. On a side note, you might notice that our cards look radically different. They changed the visual style of Versus System before its final 3 sets, roughly. And as a result, you'll see things like range will appear at a different place on Ian's card than on mine. You know, various sets have the different colorations and formations of information.
But I think in this circumstance, I'm going to recruit Catwoman, who's not my preferred 3-drop. But like most Birds of Prey, she is -3/+3 while visible, which means her stats are swapped. That's the key, is they all have that text, but it just means their stats are swapped.
Yeah.
I'm also going to play an additional thing. I'm going to play the Hookup, which is a team-up. I'm going to team up Gotham Knights and Birds of Prey, and each of my characters has those affiliations. But importantly, I now have acquired the power, which is the ongoing power of this team-up, to discard a Gotham Knights character card to draw a card. I can do that only once a turn. Interesting. I could do that now to do something interesting.
You could indeed.
I think I may.
You may indeed.
I think I may. Well, do I? Yeah, I think I will.
Yeah.
So I'm also going to substitute a character. And Substitute.
It's adorable. It's an adorable power.
Substitute is a keyword that says that I may remove from the game a ready character I control only during the build phase, and I may recruit a character with cost less than or equal to that character's cost. So I'll be removing from the game Huntress to recruit Gypsy. Gypsy's power is concealed optional. When she enters play, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Put 1 on top of your deck and the rest on the bottom of your deck. I'm going to put this on top of my deck, and these 2 on the bottom. And I, of course, did that because now I can trigger this ongoing power by discarding Spoiler to just draw that card.
Interesting. It's pretty solid. Yeah.
Oh, I should put Catwoman in my front row. She does not actually have range.
So, it ain't great, but I think I need to team attack Catwoman,
I think you do.
which is
I
unfortunate.
think I need to stun your 2-drop.
Yeah. Which one?
I'm sorry, your visible character.
Oh, I will take no damage.
That's an I3, which is kind of crummy. But then I get to attack the shield agents.
Yeah.
Which makes it all worthwhile.
That's true. So I will take exactly 1 damage, but I have 2 stunned characters, so I will lose the character unless... I'm pretty sure I can't do anything, but I'm going to look at my cards as though I could.
Okay, I'm certainly
Yeah, that's good.
convinced that you could possibly do something.
I got nothing else. Goodbye, S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. You were awesome.
Very, very convincing ruse.
Yeah. Oh. I did that
Dice out
thing.
of the way. You did a thing.
I did the thing.
You're having a bad draw?
I don't know.
On camera?
I don't know.
Like, what did I tell you about having bad
Yeah,
draws?
I don't know.
I'm not having a great draw myself, so
I don't know.
I wouldn't sweat it too much. As you well know, you know I don't really want to be recruiting Catwoman at turn 3 in this deck.
That is true. Speaking of which, it is now your initiative.
It is my initiative. In fact, it is my initiative.
It is your initiative. I'm with you. I get what you're saying.
I
I'm taking in what you're putting down.
No, this is the right play. Let me see. Let me look at some of my cards here before I decide this is what I'm gonna do. It's a good plan. I'm gonna recruit Vixen.
Also
Concealed.
Yeah, concealed.
Vixen is concealed. She has the Birds of Prey power. We'll just say her stats are swapped while she's visible.
Yeah. Stats are swapped while visible. I have everyone's favorite character, Sharon Carter.
Oh, man.
Sharon Carter has discard a character card. This turn, she can attack target character as though it were visible and unprotected, and it loses and can't have reinforcement.
I regret where Gypsy is positioned.
If it makes you feel any better, it doesn't matter where she was positioned.
You say that now. Yeah, no, I guess that's true.
I may say it again later.
Yep.
We'll see.
You may.
I may.
Could.
I make no promises.
You're into that sort of thing.
If I was, but I might be.
So what do I do about that?
Nothing. Panic.
Panic?
Clearly panic.
I got some options, actually.
No.
I hope it's really cool.
No.
So if I could stun your 2-drop with my 2-drop.
I don't like that. You shouldn't do that. That's a bad idea.
I can do that,
Yeah.
but I think it's too costly a play.
I was looking forward to it.
Really?
No.
We have fun on this stream.
Yes.
Well, that gives me a couple of options. I can try to do it with my 3-drop, after which you will surely attack Vixen with your 4-drop, which is probably a reasonable thing to do. Yeah, let's do that. Catwoman's going to attack your 2-drop.
Yeah. That's
So
a
I
thing.
can give her a nice little slap
Thing.
there.
That's a good slap you just slapped. Well, so can do stuff, but I don't really particularly want to do stuff. If I do this thing, you might do that thing, and then I could do that thing.
Just keep an eye out for this. This is Kyle's shtick.
This is my
Or
shtick.
routine. What do you call this? Catchphrase?
Ca-
That's not quite a catchphrase.
Definitely not a. It's a signature
Whoa,
monologue.
what words are you
Hobbit-
saying?
Hobbit.
He likes to do the if I do this, you do
Yeah.
this kind of thing. It's really entertaining. I enjoy it immensely.
But I am in a sort of a this
Pickle?
draw. This draw.
Not a
this
good
draw
draw?
is a special. Well, a lot hinges on my next few cards as to whether or not this is a good draw or a complete disaster. It could go either way. Also, depending peculiarly on the outcome of this attack, even though this
boy.
seems relatively benign.
Oh boy.
Um.
Well, let me get my cards ready then. If this is an important attack, I should make sure it works.
Yeah. Stop that threatening.
Oh, come on. I'm playing Birds of Prey. You think I can't make this work if I want to? This is what they do.
That's true. It's a thing they do pretty well. So you are currently
You benefit
swapped.
from... Yes.
Right.
You benefit from my not seeing clearly why it's a valuable play.
Right. So there's a really weird thing that I could do. I think I'm going to evade.
Okay.
So when I evade, I am stunned. I take no damage because I do have invulnerability.
Oh, she's invulnerable always with evade. That's a good
She's
character.
She's pretty cool.
I didn't think about that combination of powers till
She's,
just now.
she's great if I can play her on turn 2, which I can only do if I
If
draw
you
her
have
on
the
turn 2
one drop,
and a
yeah,
1-drop.
yeah.
So in so doing, the attack resolves against nothing because my character is no longer available to have damage dealt. So Catwoman will ready, but because Ian did make an attack, it is now my initiative. So that is a version of stealing the initiative. That is the phrasing. And now, boy, I got an interesting choice here too.
Kyle has no visible characters. I want to point out I have a lot of attack on the table.
I don't particularly like that, but I think Sharon Carter is going to attack your visible character.
Okay. Her defense is 7, which I can see from the side of the table. I would like to.
That is correct. Yeah, Sharon Carter's defense is-
So what I'll be doing is I will be giving target character I control. Well, let me try flipping this correctly.
English, yeah.
Target character you control gets +3 attack while defending this turn. I will choose Catwoman. If it is a Birds of Prey character with concealed, you may move it to your hidden or visible area. So I will also do this. That will swap her stats as per her character, and the +3 attack makes her attack 9. Now, were I to end my plays here, I would be looking at 5 points of breakthrough.
And 3 for the stun.
And 3 for
Also,
the
there's
stun.
a cat out, just so you're aware.
Oh, hello, hi cat. I love cats. I'm glad there's a cat out.
Yes.
I'm petting a cat. I don't get to pet cats too often.
You might not be seeing it on the stream,
Nope,
but
no.
there is a real cat
I'm
here.
petting a cat under the table. So it's approximately the area where the streaming is going on.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we'll save us 5 damage
Sure.
by playing. I think I have a card that can save us 5 damage. Good Cup, Good Cup. Target Gotham Knights defender in my support row gets +2 attack this attack. Boy, I have a lot of attack, sir.
You do.
And it has reinforcement. This
How much attack did you get? Did you say
Oh, I suppose
5?
I suppose
attack?
you could then fire Sharon Carter's power. Is that true?
Let me review. Discard a character card this turn. She can attack target character as though visible and unprotected. And it loses and can't have reinforcement. Reinforcement being the thing that blocks it. So it would cost me a character card to do
Yeah,
it.
well, since you can bust through that, I'm going to save it for a better play.
Alright, fair enough. I don't
This
even
is one of
remember
our famous rewinds, and for the sake
Yep,
of having
yep.
a friendly game that's interesting,
Yep.
I will be taking a lot of breakthrough. But currently, I have the counter stuff.
That'll work. I will take 4.
I'm going to take 8.
And then I'm going to take a lot of damage. I think. So,
Well, you get to swing with Deadpool pretty
yeah, I
clean.
do. I do. That's fine, dear. We talked about Lily on the stream.
And a cat. Stream cat. Your cat is internet famous now.
That's right. It begins.
Or maybe your cat is making us internet famous, because you know, internet and cats.
Internet loves cats.
Yeah, they love cats. I'm gonna just team attack you. It's 11. It's not
11. I can deal with 11.
anything more or less interesting.
No, dear. I just, if you look at the, I just wanted to point out, if you look at the, you can see that we're not even on camera. There's just the table space here.
I see.
See, We denoted it with yellow dice, so this is the visible area.
If you're outside the yellow dice, the world cannot know that you exist. Ooh, I just got a kiss. Sweet.
There's more where that came from.
Ooh.
No, he got a kiss from Rachel. That was-
So, yeah, Deadpool's just going to attack you for
that'll
4.
work. What am I? Fell behind that turn.
Well,
Not ideal.
slightly. The important thing for me, so as a reminder, normally I would have to lose one of these characters, but because I actually use the evade power of Spider-Woman, she comes back for free, and then of course I'm going to choose to recover Sharon Carter.
Boy, did I have a lucky top deck just now.
Sure did. Man, this draw is not really cool. It's mediocre. It's a mediocre draw.
Man, well, I'm gonna move Gypsy.
Yep, those are words.
I don't even know, Kyle.
I sure don't know. Yeah, this draw.
That might be how I do this.
So the tactical reasoning in my mind on that last turn was, if nothing else, I have made Ian move his characters to the concealed area. Therefore, I have a clean shot out. Now, I know that Birds of Prey has a lot of way of moving characters between the two zones, visible and hidden. That's their whole shtick. But if I make him use those up, it's a little less maneuverability. And moving his characters between hidden and visible is also one of the primary ways in which he adjusts his stats. So it is turn 5. Does that mean it's my attack?
I think so.
Cool.
Yeah.
I am going to recruit. I have a choice again between mediocre and mediocre.
Excellent. I opt my vote. If you care about my opinion, I'm going to go for mediocre.
So mediocre, I'll accept. I'm going to recruit 3-drop Natasha Romanoff.
Oh, I'm looking out a little bit.
Yeah,
Here.
this is not favorable, but she does have a good power. Discard a character card. Target defender gets -X defense this attack, where X is half its defense rounded up. Use only while she is attacking, and only once per turn. So if anybody can hit up the chain, she's at least a pretty good way to do it. Of course, assuming I have character cards to discard, I do have 4 cards in my hand at the moment. And I will form... I guess if I get the first attack, I'll put both my ranged characters in the back row. We haven't explicitly mentioned it yet, but if an amount of breakthrough would be done, a supporting row character
Have we not
can...
reinforced yet?
I don't think we reinforced
That's
this whole game. It's
impressive.
weird. Well, last time you
two
were...
games.
Yeah.
Well, I was playing the all front row character.
Yeah.
It's actually a really important part of this game that we have not been partaking in.
Yeah. So it might happen, but it probably won't this turn. Which is a character adjacent to another character can exhaust. So if Jessica Drew here, we're going to take like 20 million points of damage. I can exhaust an adjacent supporting row character. This could also work if she were in front. I could exhaust the support row character behind to prevent all of that breakthrough. Of course, that means I have one less attacker because I have to exhaust them to do it, but it's an option. And I actually think I'm going to form like this. I think that's what I'm going to do.
I realized I adjusted as I was recovering my concealed characters to my support row, but again with freaking Sharon Carter, it doesn't matter.
That's
So
right.
they may as well be attackers.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the character I'm recruiting over here by my life dice,
Yeah.
which I did not actually nudge, but almost nudged,
Yeah.
is Savant.
Yeah.
Savant is the male character in this photo. Kyle always
Yep,
mistakes
I always
it for
screw her
the
up.
female character, who is actually Black Canary.
Yeah.
Savant is an 11/8 with the -3/+3 powers, so he is swapped while he is visible. And as I just said, I'm going to be moving all of my concealed folks to the front row because Kyle can just hit through them regardless of my
Right.
formation. That is Sharon Carter's power.
true.
She strips reinforcement, which is that neat ability Kyle was just talking about.
Yeah.
Telling you about. Talking about. Both of those things.
So, clearly, I have a big dude to hit through.
He's kind of big.
A kind of big dude to hit through. I got to figure out how to do this. So I think I could do it that way. Right now, your stats are swapped. I think I team attack with my 2 visibles. Is that right? If I do it that way and discard a card, you don't currently have flight on any of your characters. That is interesting.
You're interesting.
I'm an Yeah, I'm going to do it with these two. So I'm going to team attack against Savant. My current attack is...
9.
It is 9. So I clearly need to get more attack, and I have 2 ways of doing it, and I'm trying to decide what the best option is. I think I will discard... Or just do that. Is it useful? So the conundrum here is I can discard a card for her power, which is a great reduction in Savant's defense, but Sharon Carter also uses character discard powers. So that means that I'm using what is, again, a very limited resource.
He didn't recruit an on-curve character this turn, so he's already strapped for good cards.
Yeah, and I don't like that.
Is my assessment. I'm
Yeah,
letting him in on my
that's
thought
pretty
process
fair.
a little bit here.
Pretty fair. So I think the way I do this actually is... Well, I really don't want to do that. I will discard Deadpool.
And I lose half my defense for that.
Round it up.
Rounded up as my printed defense.
I don't know. Just half its defense.
So it is my current defense or defense.
So
Excuse
the
me.
effect is on the
The time
chain.
that
If
takes
you
the
had a
time.
way to move your character hidden, it would reduce the reduction, but then you would also be hidden, which reduces your defense by 3 anyway.
It's true. It's true.
So it would be valuable if you moved him hidden and then visible again, but that would be a pretty high cost in most
Yeah.
circumstances.
Let's see. So what are we gonna do? I would like to ask again. I'm just gonna pick up
Yeah, just go for it. It's a friendly
Natasha
game.
Romanoff and look at her power. I want to make sure I recall how it's worded.
Yeah,
So she targets defender. She's in combat.
that's correct.
Fair enough. So then I will stun or I will attempt to stun the 2-drop.
Now that will work. I don't take damage for the stun, but it's what we would call a legit stun. I did not use my evasion power.
You spooked Savant. He ran
Terrifying.
away.
It's terrifying. So it is a gain for me, and I was able to hit a powerful character with 2 of my weaker characters, but it cost me a cards, and it meant that she's a legitimate stun. And again, that means the evasion power means there's no free recovery because I did not use evasion. So if Ian stuns another character, which is highly likely, I will actually have to lose a character this turn.
So at this point, what I'm going to do
I'm with you so
is
far.
I'm going to attack Vixen.
Yeah, you're gonna attack Vixen.
No, I'm going to attack with Vixen
Oh,
against
that's
your
disappointing.
3-drop.
That is disappointing. I'm disappointed. So, I'm going to look at some cards. Always threatening. Always threatening. I'm going to flip up the God's Eye satellite. It's everybody's favorite
It's not my favorite.
location. It's your favorite. Activate. Target shield character you control gets +X attack this turn, where X is its cost. At the start of the recovery phase this turn, return that character to its owner's hand.
Ooh.
And I will fire this. So what this is doing is it means that at the end of the phase, no matter what, Natasha will bounce back to my hand. I'd have to spend resource points again to recruit her, but her attack is now 8.
Oh, this is wonderful because I get to fizzle it.
Oh.
I'm going to play Tied Down.
Oh.
Target defender gets -3 attack this attack, and an additional -1 for each other Tied Down in my resource row or KO'd pile, which essentially means just that I have played this game.
Yeah.
That is none at this point, but your attack is reduced by 3, which I think puts you under my defense again. Is that correct?
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, that's disappointing. Yeah. Yep. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Your total attack is pretty big, actually. It's 9, right?
It is just 9. Well, yes, it is big, but it
big
is
compared
9.
to my
Yes.
3-drop, anyway.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, that'll work. So you deal 5 breakthrough and 3 for the stun. I do not get the counter stun. That means I take 8. I mean, 23. Well, that's unfortunate. So now I face a good old-fashioned choice about what I do with. So what does this damn thing do again?
Cry for Blood lets me target character I control gets +3 attack while defending this turn, and if it is a Birds of Prey character, which is most characters in this deck, I think all at this point, I may move it to my hidden or visible area.
Right.
It can drastically change the outcome of an attack.
It sure can.
That's Birds of Prey shtick. Is they're suddenly elsewhere and different.
Yes, yes. That is quite so.
So that could come into play. So choose carefully the
Yes.
target of your attack if you choose to attack my characters.
Yeah, so this is interesting. If I go for your characters, and Sharon Carter, if I discard a card for Sharon Carter, she can attack the concealed characters over here, which is great. It would be a lot of damage. In addition, if I could do it without being counter-stunned, you would lose a character, and I am already losing a character, so that would even that score. But the consequence, the risk, rather, is that if you get the counter-stun, I'm going to lose even more characters. And this was my initiative, so this is supposed to be my big advantage, but because I missed a drop, it's put me in a very difficult position. So I could choose just to attack. My attack on the board right now.
Attack. It's not something I'm looking forward to taking.
Yeah. So the question, I guess, just becomes, is it worth discarding the card? So what are the odds that you have multiple Cry for Bloods? If you have 0, I can get Catwoman, which would be very lucrative because she's a lot of attack. Get that off the board. If you have 1, it is safer to attack Gypsy. And if somehow you have 2, you're limited to 4 cards in a deck, which means you would have drawn 3 of the 4, since you've already played 1 that are in the deck, or 3 of the 3. But that means that Gypsy could potentially get Sharon Carter. I think in this case, the acceptable risk is to go for Gypsy. So I'm going to swing at Gypsy. My attack is 8.
Now I must choose. Because I can get that counter stun.
Oh my word.
But it would be a very expensive play.
It would be very interesting. I guess depending on the cost, this could be very interesting. Which we'll see.
Let me look at my stuff some more.
Yeah.
Same as last time,
Yeah.
turns out. I think it is too costly. I think I must accept.
Fair enough. So my attack is 8 as
I will
printed.
take 7 from that. So I do take a little less damage, and at worst
Yep,
I
yep.
lose a 2-drop who wasn't availing me much
Yep.
anyway. Math. I'm
Yeah.
at 17.
Yep.
Catwoman will, of course,
Yep.
attack you
Yep.
for 6.
I'm going to double check. I don't think I have any tricks that I can do about that.
I'm assuming Deadpool is going to attack me.
Yep. So I'm going to take the 6, putting me at 17, and another pretty bloody game here, actually. And then, yeah, hit you for 4.
Ow.
But that was my initiative. I made the most of it, given the fact that I underdropped, but I did not evade, so I must lose someone. And I think
Actually,
it has to be,
you used Brother Eye Satellite,
did.
so one of your characters must return to your hand.
Natasha Romanov must return to my hand. And so
Of course,
I guess I keep
so-
Jessica Drew. She's small, but because she has invulnerability, she soaks 3 damage on any attack, which isn't bad.
Because she can evade, she's not really a liability.
That is true. Anytime she's attacked, I can just evade to mitigate that problem. Boy, she is good. God's Eye Satellite, like anything else, readies at the end of the turn. I'm going to draw me some cards, like this one. And like this one. Oh, that's something.
I haven't been taking advantage of this power very much. I think I will finally discard a spoiler to draw a card.
How novel. How novel.
And then, as it is my initiative, I will be recruiting your old buddy Dick Grayson.
Dick Grayson.
I love Dick Grayson.
Yeah,
He's
we love
Nightwing, and his power is whenever Dick Grayson stuns a character, Draw a card. He also has discard a Gotham Knights character card from your hand. Target defender has reinforcement this attack.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. I don't like any of those.
Kyle really dislikes it when I get cards.
I do. Card draw in any game is very valuable.
And I get cards, let me tell you.
So I will recruit from my
I did
research
Trump
row.
impression there. I get
Oh,
cards. I get the best
Oh,
cards.
that was good. That was good. I enjoyed that.
Your dude is big.
So my dude is big.
Not happy that your dude is big, but you're putting a small dude in front of him.
Yeah, just to be charitable.
Hmm.
Marvel's power. It's going to be very important in the game this vicious. His power says,
No.
when he enters play, target player loses 1 endurance for each face-down resource in
I
play.
hate that guy. He's so nasty.
So you may flip things in response,
Nasty.
but the
I
current
don't
loss
think
is a whopping
I'm
8.
going to be able to flip anything. Oh.
Marvel's so
God.
good. Oh, man. I feel like I'm gradually
Boy.
losing board state, but if I can, I will lose if this goes to 7. But if I can win this turn, and
There is no way it can go to 7 at this point.
yeah, excellent. Well, great. That's right.
I'm at 5 and you're at 17, sir.
Yeah, well, excellent. Then, oh, and also I'm going to power dampener Dick Grayson,
Aw, that's a sad thing.
just to be annoying.
Boy, I wish I had fight.
Ha ha!
I think I do not have any or means of getting it at this time.
All part of my master plan.
Oh, that is sad. So Dick Grayson cannot give people reinforcement, and Dick Grayson cannot get me cards.
Yeah.
But I have to act very carefully here. Pretty certain I can kill you. I am not certain I can make up a 12 life deficit.
We're really hoping you can't.
That's
because,
quite an ask.
I need you to not. That's part of my plan. My plan is that you don't do that.
Welp.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with the attack on your 2-drop with Slot.
Sure, of course.
Force you to choose to evade or take a moderate amount of damage.
Yeah. So at this point, since I am
No reason
hopeful
not to evade.
that I will win, I think it is better if I soak your attacker. So I am going to play Lay Down with Dogs. To play, discard a character card. I will discard Sasha Romanoff. Choose one. Target character you control has reinforcement, or target character loses and can't have reinforcement. I, of course, will be choosing to reinforce Jessica Drew. So unless something changes, I will be stunned, but I will not take damage. So now, how much chaos can I cause with Marvel? I am concerned because whomever he attacks, and by whomever I mean almost certainly Dick Grayson, I will then not have visible characters, which means I will take a bunch of damage, which I do not like. So this brings us to Plan B, which is, I think, it might be smarter to team attack Dick Grayson with my concealed characters and leave Marvel as a visible defender to keep these characters from just hitting through clean. So that's what we're going to do. As printed at the moment, my attack is 12. I'm team attacking Dick Grayson for 12. That is my current plan.
Okay. Team attacking Dick Grayson for 12.
Current plan.
Well, it's going to work. I'm going to stun your 4-drop.
Of course.
Well, I am now at -1 life, which means the onus is on me to finish this turn. I must deal 14 damage more to Kyle than he deals to me. That's going to be a little tricky.
I'm hoping exceptionally tricky.
It's not impossible. I don't even need to run the math. My best play is...
Oh, man.
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness.
It's very odd. I've left myself in a position where God's Eye Satellite is actually not useful.
I'm going to attack your 6-drop with my 3-drop.
Oh.
I will be powering her up.
Mm-hmm.
I will then be playing Break You from my resource row and discarding the rest of my hand for +6 additional attack.
Oh man, that is a hell of a play.
My attack is 13.
Wow. Boy, that is impressive. Shit.
Power Up is a mechanic that hasn't come up yet. I'll explain it while Kyle is panicking over my attack. And that is, you may discard a card with the same name as a character you have in play to give that character +1/+1 for a single attack.
Attack of 13. Boy, I haven't run the numbers on this. Did you run the math yet?
I didn't. I think you're going to end up one ahead still.
All right. Well, we're going to run it out. I can't stop that attack. So I take a point of breakthrough. And 6 for the stun. I take 7.
And I take 3.
Putting me at 6.
I'm at -4. My attack is
Your
just
attack
9.
is 9.
Which means you'll be up by 1.
Wow. I am at -3. Holy smokes! I was
so
feeling
close.
I was feeling very confident, and then you started thinking about things.
Well, there you go. That was a great game.
Man.
This is why we play this game, because
Oh my
often,
gosh.
surprisingly often, it does something like go to -4 to -3.
Boy, that was unreal. So I'm sitting here this game, and on that last turn, I had to think about whether or not I was going to do a big alpha strike, and I couldn't remember what reinforcement options you have in that deck. And we've played these decks a ton. I still can't remember every card in every deck. So I'm sitting here with the God's Eye Satellite, which gives me a huge attack bonus, but it means I have to bounce a character to my hand. Now, I don't care about that penalty here, but the risk is if I had used Marvell with a very big attack, but he'd gotten counter-stunned, he would have just been able to hit through with everything. So I had to play a defensive route. Because my whole plan would have been foiled if he'd had a plot twist that granted him reinforcement. Fortunately, my decision was barely the correct one. Though I don't know if you had a means of granting reinforcement.
Well, we're approaching when we usually call it, but we did get a late start. You think you can give our air quote fans another game?
All right, let's see how many fans we have at the moment. We're still at 2 because it's probably Rachel.
Well, don't forget we're going to YouTube, so
That's true.
that's where we'll be super famous.
We do still have 2. I wonder
Yay.
who that other person is. It's got to be
A
it's got
glitch
to be
in
a
the
bug.
Matrix.
It's
Who
totally a
knows?
bug.
Who
But
knows?
we'll play one.
Maybe I'm watching us twice.
Yeah, just to give a good rounded 3 games. I don't know what time. We did get a late start. Whatever. We can do one more. It's the weekend. You only live once. YOLO and all that, whatnot. So I will play.
Yeah, I enjoyed that finale.
I can't even believe how close. I mean, I suspect can breakthrough be used on attack or defense?
It can, but it costs me cards. And the irony of that play
Yeah.
was I had 2 breakthroughs, and I had to discard one.
Oh, you discarded
To
a break
fire
you
the
for
other.
break you.
And the 4 cards in my hand and the break you in my resource row could only have been used in that combination for the extra damage because I had a Catwoman. Huh.
How novel. Boy, that was unbelievable. I was feeling so confident on that. And
You never know.
I
You never know with
suspected,
versus system.
yeah, I suspected you had a break you when you were running the math like it could be possibly very costly, and I'm thinking there are very few things that would be so costly you wouldn't go for that counterstun. You must have a break you.
Yeah. It would have cost me the rest of my
It would have cost you your
hand,
next turn,
including
probably.
my 6-drop. Yeah.
Right.
Which is why I opted not to. I'm gonna freshen up my water while you still.
Yeah, by all means. Oh, did I pour myself a water?
Yeah, it's over here. I'll bring it to you as I'm freshening my
That's
water.
great. That's a good
I assume
plan.
that there is a water over here. I'm going to go ahead and assume
It's probably mine. There's at least a good chance. I am going to play an A deck. Thank you.
are,
For that
sir.
one. Here's fine. Thank you. So we have played. We classify our decks as it says in Ian's description: A, double A, and S. Because that's just how it worked out. So A is our lowest. We have opened with an S, then we played a double A. Now we shall play an A. I'm getting one of my A decks. I have the fewest A decks, but I do have a few.
8 is a legit deck. Let's see. Ooh. Who are these? Ah. Yes.
Yes, them.
Yes, them. Some of our decks have names, and this is one of my named decks. Of course, we are playing for the element of surprise, so I won't name the deck
Yet.
until the nature of the deck is revealed. I think this is one of the more amusingly named decks I have.
Do you still have...
I will alleviate your fears. It is not the Big Damn Batman.
Okay, oh, thank goodness.
If it were the Big Damn Batman, we'd be playing till midnight.
Oh. I deliberately chose a deck that doesn't go... I really thought about ending with a Kang finale also for Chris,
yes.
but...
No, that's a good one.
At this hour, I do not have
maybe
energy
next
for
week.
Kang.
Well, actually, we won't be streaming next week.
Yeah, we've
the
got...
next time we figure out we'll stream, maybe we'll open with Kang.
That's a good opener. Yeah, I think, unfortunately, even though this is an inaugural stream, I think I'm out for 2 weeks, because my dad is in town for a good chunk of time. And you're going to E3 one of those
I'm going
weekends.
to E3 next week. I will be back for the weekend. I could be back if Kyle were available to stream, but since he's not, I'm not going to bother.
Yeah.
Maybe, and this is a crazy long shot, but maybe I will convince Chris to do a little streaming with me while I'm in the area.
That would be fantastic.
Would be nice to, especially in an inaugural stream, just so people know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know how open he is to the idea of streaming. I know he's done some video game streaming, so...
Well, it can be done.
He's actually given me some advice about my streaming. He knows what's going on. Well, you've given me a lot of advice, too, but you've done streaming in different contexts.
That's true, very different.
Okay. Oh, I rolled way off camera a 4 for my initial roll.
Alright, and I will roll a 3.
Hey, I want to roll. Let
roll.
me think for a moment about what these folks do.
I'm going to mulligan.
Let's see. I got kind of a nasty 4. I got kind of a nasty 5. I'm not sure. When you don't know, you go odds, right? I don't know.
That's the rule of thumb.
I will go odds. And I will not keep these cards. I'm glad I did not keep. This would have been a sad start. It's still a little bit of a sad start,
yeah.
so we'll see what we can make of it.
I do empathize.
All right. So I did go odds. I will open us up with Kid Devil. Kid Devil is a Teen Titans character with cosmic. His cosmic power is defenders I control with cosmic counters get +2 attack.
Indeed.
Do you immediately know who this deck is? I don't
Uh,
recall if you remember this
Vaguely.
early.
I guess we'll see. I'm going to act like I don't, because I don't...
So I won't name the deck just yet.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get there. I do not have a 1-drop.
All right, well then Kid Devil is going to attack you for 1.
I will take that 1 with pride. Then draw some cards. Wow, this is borderline unthinkable. Right, we're going to do this.
Unthinkable, you say?
Yeah, so I don't have a 2-drop.
Well, then I'm going to exhaust Kid Devil
Oh my.
to play from my resource row First Date. As an additional cost to play First Date, exhaust a character you control. Reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Oh, that's a lot of cards. Put a revealed Teen Titans character card into your hand, and the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck. There are only 2 Teen Titan character cards in this.
But they are.
In fact, it is the
2-drop.
same Teen Titans character card. It is Betty Kane, who is Batwoman, and I will be putting her into my hand, and then I will recruit Betty Kane.
What? Oh man, this is
Betty
not.
Kane's-
This is not a good beginning here for the mystery that is my deck. This is unthinkable, I say.
Really? All right. Well, Betty Kane, her cosmic power is that if another character I control would become stunned, instead I may stun Betty Kane. If I do, I must exhaust that character.
I will pass.
All right. Well, Betty Kane's going to attack you for 2.
Crap. I'm gonna draw me some cards. Lol. Alrighty, this.
My draw is pretty absurd, I must say.
I do hear that. I do do hear
Hey,
that.
there's a. That's a good thing, I guess. No, it's terrible.
Alright, what is your initiative? That last brilliant attack of mine was...
Boy, I sure want to keep Kid Devil in play. Does that mean I recruit Duella Dent? I recruit Duella Dent. Duella Dent is also cosmic, and her power is that attackers I control with cosmic counters get +2 defense.
That ain't bad. Well, I got Zorn.
Ah, the X-Men.
Yes.
Team attack deck with lots of small characters, none of which Kyle has
that's
encountered
the one.
yet.
That's the one. So his power is pay 0 endurance to recover target stunned character you control. Use this power only once per turn and only during the recovery phase. What you gonna do about that?
I might pass, considering the fact that I can't stun you without team attack of my whole team.
Yeah. But then again, I'm going to attack you anyway if you pass.
That's true. But you can't attack Betty Kane without being stunned. I don't know if that matters. You
It's
also
true.
can't attack Duella Dent without being stunned. Neither of those things I just said is true.
I was going to say those both seem like lies, but I'm not sure.
Aw. Yes. Yep. Mhm. I'm a liar. So I'm still gonna pass.
Okay, fair enough. I think I do attack Kid Devil.
All
I
right.
think
Yeah, he's got a pretty good counter. I like his counter the best of these.
You can
counters.
save it by losing Betty Kane's counter.
She's also got a pretty good counter. I'm not sure. I'm not
I enjoyed the part where you said that's the best counter
Yes.
and I don't want to get rid of it, and then you could choose to. It's fine.
We don't make sense. We never promised to make sense.
In fact, ideally, people will quickly realize that we don't.
I'm gonna take 3.
Sweet.
But then I'll
Nailed it.
continue to pass. I actually gained 7 there.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna take 3.
There we are. Okay, math. I've
See, it gets
tied it
more
up.
interesting the later it gets.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Start to less and less have a firm grasp on what's actually going on.
By that we mean reality. So,
I hope that something happens this turn.
Yep. Well, I am going to recruit an additional character, so that's a good start. And in
that
keeping with that, I'm going to recruit Psylocke.
Boy, what an odd draw for my deck. I think you're going to crush me.
I was very worried. I mean, keep in mind, this deck does not go past 5, so I do need to deal you 47 life in 2 turns.
Sure.
However, if your draw is terrible enough, so Psylocke
it's pretty terrible.
So first of all mutant cards have a separate denomination, mental, energy, or physical. Psylocke has the power, discard a mental card. Negate target effect from a non-ongoing plot twist. I can only use this power once per turn, and only if a mental character is attacking or defending. I will form like this, I think.
Okay. I will be recruiting
Yes.
Dark Thanagarian. Dark Thanagarian, I will recruit him. I can see that area.
Yeah.
He has, when he comes into play, target another character you control. I'll target Kid Devil. While that character has the Darkseid's Elite affiliation, I'll point out that Kid Devil does not have the Darkseid's Elite affiliation.
Yes.
And is attacking this turn. It gets +2 attack and can attack as though it had flight. I did not read that right. Let me try again.
All right, I accept.
While it has the Darkseid's Elite affiliation, it gets +2 attack while attacking and has flight.
I see.
It was much simpler than I was making
I
it.
see. That is entirely fair.
Cool, yo.
The coolest.
Kid Devil. He's something.
Yep. I'm with you.
I think I'm having a catastrophic deck failure, and you're not doing great. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping-
It is not.
Boy,
So how do I do this?
I should have played a little bit differently. turns out.
Well,
Don't know how much difference it would have made.
yeah. So I guess I must attack Duel a Dent. Even though Kid Devil is tempting with his additional attack, the choice is clear. I must get rid of your cosmic counters.
Sure. I'm going to go ahead and reinforce Duel a Dent, so I will be taking 1.
I'd like to point out this is a step away from dealing you 47 damage in 2 turns.
Boy, it could be costly, but I think I must try to stun Zorn with Dark Thanagarian.
Yeah. Well, so I am going to reveal the X-Corp Amsterdam, which has the property Activate. Target X-Men character you control gets +1 defense this attack.
Dope. No, that's going to work.
Oh, man.
Although, if I were to draw any useful cards in this deck, you'll be very sorry that you did that.
I would be very, very sorry.
I'm going to take 3 for that, but I'm going to lose a bunch of things this turn.
I did not expect that to work. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually a little sorry that worked. This card is normally completely useless.
One defense is never terrible, especially on defense.
It's true. It's just remarkable, like, because we know one defense can come from, like, a power-up.
Yeah, usually we target for about 2 defense over an attacker.
Sometimes
you're forced into a corner, though.
Yeah, that's very so. In this case, the corner is going to be experienced by Kid Devil. So I'll attack Kid Devil.
I'll take 3, so I have lost most of my team. That's cool.
Psylocke and Zorn for the win. Cool, yeah, that went way better than I was expecting, courtesy of you not having a 4-drop or another visible character. So that's good. It's the little things.
No bigs.
Draw some stuff.
Holy cow. I had another amazing top deck. Is it amazing enough? Is the question. Son of a... I can't believe...
How good your draws?
I can't believe. I'm just incredulous of everything.
Well, considering that my deck is 1/3 1s and
initiative.
2s, you do. That will matter.
I have Animal Man, Beast Boy who is Animal Man. He's cosmic.
Yeah.
His cosmic counter, his cosmic power, is that he has +3 attack.
That's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
It's
I don't know what you're worried about.
It's not bad.
Totally fine.
Oh, shoot! I could have actually stunned Zorn last turn. Whatever.
Well,
It wouldn't have availed me all that much.
Psylocke was not stunned?
No.
Yeah, it would have been at most 3
A couple of
damage. So
damage.
save that surprise for this turn, on which you may
totally.
stun Zorn.
I may.
So I am going to recruit a character of my choosing. As for which character that is, I guess it's got to be Cyclops.
Oh, I don't like Cyclops.
Cyclops has, whenever a character adjacent to Cyclops attacks, target opponent loses 2 endurance. Also, you can see that all of my characters have range, so all of them may attack from the back row, but I'm forming like this because that way Psylocke is in my front row and can protect Cyclops. Of course, that doesn't really matter. Just to be clear, for those unfamiliar superheroes, Cyclops, Psylocke, with a P, with a C. They both start with
What are you
Psy.
doing over there?
Psy-
This streaming has gone to your head. You're
Well,
making strange statements.
No,
I understand.
Psylocke,
Are the same
Cyclops.
sounds, but they're spelled differently?
I clarified it because I just described why Psylocke was in front of Cyclops, and I probably didn't enunciate properly, so it probably sounded like Psylocke, or Cyclops, and we wouldn't want that.
Anyway, go see X-Men Age of Apocalypse. It'll explain everything.
Except don't see that.
No, it's a terrible movie. You wouldn't know. You didn't
I
see
wouldn't
it.
know.
I did see it. It's pretty terrible. Well, I am not in a great situation still.
Excellent.
So I'm gonna go ahead and attack Zorn. Shh, it's fine.
Psylocke,
Zorn.
Cyclops. You're gonna attack Zorn.
Yes.
That's pretty reasonable because it's a very big attack.
Yes.
It's very, very a thing you can do.
It's 12 attack.
Yeah. Right. I can do that. That seems like it could be useful.
For those those that following along at home, this is probably my weakest deck, and you might say, well, duh, obviously, but it does actually do things. I'm also having a very bad draw.
Yeah. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to play Time Breach.
Time Breach.
As an additional cost to play it, exhaust an X-Men character you control. Search your deck for up to 2 X-Men character cards with a combined cost of 3 or less. Reveal them, put them into your hand, shuffle your deck, and discard a card.
Okay. So you're just padding out your hand.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah.
What I don't want is for you to change the outcome of this attack somehow.
Yeah, I wish I could do that. I think we're safely going to say Zorn's going to get stunned. So 3
And
or
by that I
less.
mean reinforcing the Cyclops. I could be mistaken. Maybe that's not something you'll
We're
do.
going to do not that character. Not
That's a lot of damage if you don't.
It is a lot of damage, and I don't like it. We're going to do Dazzler. And
So I'm familiar with Kyle's X-Men deck. Well, I'm familiar with most of Kyle's decks, and it is one that I
Jubilee.
recall from having played recently. And he has a very, very nasty amount of direct damage he can deal if he gets his characters all recruited and formed nicely. He can also, with a piece of equipment that I have not seen yet, make all of his little characters quite a bit bigger and possibly able to stun my bigger characters.
That
Which
sounds-
again only matters if I'm also having a good draw and playing this game with him.
Indeed. Indubitably. So there's a deck for you.
It's a, oh, I could keep this?
Well, you may cut it. We'll go that
I'll
far.
cut it for you.
And as a reminder, I must also discard a card. So that is a net gain still, but I must select a card to get rid of. And I don't know what that's going to be. I do wish that Beast Boy was moderately smaller.
Well, there's a way you can achieve that.
That's true. I am going to discard Lucky. How can I make Beast Boy moderately smaller? Boy, if I don't reinforce, I'm gonna get pummeled, and I don't like it. But if I do this other thing, I need to do that thing, and I don't like that thing. Man, I'm not in a good position here.
Thank goodness.
So I think the battle plan is to... Man, that's a lot of damage. You're +3 attack?
Yes, my attack is 12.
Yeah, I guess I gotta reinforce. I'll
Excellent.
take 3.
I mean, I'm still gonna. I presume you're going to attack. I'm going to take the ping.
I don't know who
Maybe,
I'm gonna
maybe
attack.
you're not gonna attack.
I
Oh
must
boy.
pass.
Well, that went well for me. Now the thing is, no, I can't do that. You on the table have the one defense you need to protect against my crazy surprise play.
That's true. It's right here.
That's disappointing. I sure wish I drew different cards. Okay, well then I too shall pass. What a turn!
That was great. Everyone loves a stirring finale. So I'm gonna draw me some cards, like so.
Likewise. Oh, that's
Look.
interesting.
Card down there.
Interesting thing that happened. Hey! Oh, I can finally do the thing this deck does. A little bit.
So it is my initiative, fortunately. I'm gonna recruit that.
Whoa, that's a lot of
So
things.
I've got 2 2-drops, and I got a 1-drop, and I have the Blackbird, which is the equipment in front of you. So I'm going to read a couple of things here. Cannonball has he cannot be stunned while he is attacking. I'm going to put him like this. Jubilee has I can pay 0 endurance. Target opponent loses 2 endurance, but I can only do that once per turn and only during the recovery phase. Dazzler has, whenever a character you control team attacks, target opponent loses 2 endurance. I don't know if I read Cyclops, I'm going to read him again, but whenever a character adjacent to him attacks, target opponent loses 2 endurance. So So I need to think about this just a little bit. This is one of the tricky things. Is now I got a lot of stuff to position because I want to make use of Cyclops' power, and I want to make use of Dazzler's power. I mean, it might be this. So the Blackbird, I should also read. X-Men characters you control get +2 attack while attacking and have flight. So we're going to go... How do I do this? Well, maybe we do this. I think we do that. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Alright, I don't love it. I know I'm going to take a lot of damage this turn. Not lethal, though, so my stuff might be more annoying.
Yeah.
Let's see if I need to play this in a certain order. I don't think I do. So I'll be recruiting Dark Champion.
Yeah.
Dark Champion is cosmic, and his power is... His cosmic power is...
Yeah.
Characters I control that came into play this turn get +2 attack, and can attack as though they had flight and range. I will then be substituting Betty Kane for herself.
Indeed. Oh, so she gets that benefit.
Now, the reason I did that, yes, she does get that benefit, but the reason I did that is this deck is actually a substitute deck, much as you couldn't tell so far. So I have a lot of cool powers I can fire now that I have actually performed a substitute on turn 6, my first one, of course.
Yeah.
First of all, I have the Furnace of Apocalypse, which is a location to reveal. I may activate this to draw a card. I may only do that if I have substituted the character this turn.
Yeah.
That was an interesting card to draw. I also have... Oh, I did this in the wrong order. We're gonna retcon this a little bit here.
All right.
I have the ongoing plot twist, Unravel Reality, which is an additional cost to play. I must discard a substitute character card. I will discard this.
Is this happening first?
This is happening first. This before all of that.
Including
as you recall, clearly this is what happened.
Ah, yes. My memory is
And this
being
power is
refreshed.
ongoing when you substitute a Darkseid's elite character card into play. No, it's not relevant because Betty Kane is not a Darkseid's elite character. Anyway, the ill effect would be I may replace a non-team-up, face-up resource that opponent controls, such as in, for example, Kyle's annoying
Corp Amsterdam.
location.
Yeah.
It didn't avail me because I have not found my team-up yet.
Yeah. Well, that works.
That's kind of depressing.
Well, on the plus side, I'm still going to get to attack you for a bunch.
You are. Way too many.
Sweet. So I'm happy about that. But the problem I face is, as much as I want to attack Beast Boy, Betty Kane's power is still in effect.
You must lead with her.
I must what?
Lead with her.
Yeah. So read me her power again real quick.
If another character I control would become stunned, instead I might stun Betty Kane. If I do, exhaust that character.
Yeah. Yep. That sure is a thing you can do. So, we're gonna have Cannonball, maybe? Attack Betty Kane? That's silly. But probably right. Boy. That is a thing. Yeah. Cannonball's gonna attack Betty Kane for 5. I cannot be stunned while attacking. You are pinged for 2 because of Cyclops' power.
Right.
Dazzler's power does not fire because this is not a team attack.
Look at my useless cards a little more.
I accept.
And then I'm going to take 4.
Yep.
Maybe instead of stunning Betty Kane, I'll stun Betty Kane.
That is an option.
I did my math wrong. I took 2. Hold on a second. I will take another 2 momentarily.
Yeah.
Well, ow. Okay. Well, I, of course, have to get Cyclops.
See, this is why it's
yeah,
important.
no, you're right. I see what went on there.
Mm-hmm.
Cyclops off the tail because he's a jerk and a butt. And we don't want to deal with him.
But he's lovable, too.
He's
another
a pain.
one.
Although Dazzler is also some ping. There's a lot of Ping.
Yeah, you got stuff and such.
So we're going to attack Cyclops, and my attack is 12.
Yeah, well, I ain't ecstatic about it. It's gonna work. Can I do anything fancy?
Zorn seems to recover somebody extra, unless I were to stun the Zorn.
That's correct. That is correct.
Boy, actually, hang on.
Yeah.
Hold that thought.
Yeah, I'm holding. I'm reviewing, but holding.
Do I need to attack Cannonball? I might need to attack Cannonball.
That's kind of funny. You might. You might.
That takes far more attack off the table. It leaves you with the opportunity to ping, but sensibly you would reinforce with Cyclops. Sensibly. Maybe you're not sensible.
That is a distinct possibility.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
That is also a distinct
Nah, I'm gonna hit Cyclops.
possibility. Yeah. He's a lot. He takes a lot off the table. Yep. So I was reviewing my options when I thought that was going to happen, and then I stopped reviewing them, which I shouldn't have.
Well,
Yeah. Can give myself one defense. I don't think I want to, though. So I won't.
okay.
It's good, but I thought that through real well. Now, the
Mhm.
question remains, do I reinforce? Your attack is 12.
Mm-hmm.
So reinforcement would save me 3 damage. Yeah, I'd probably reinforce.
Your 1-drop and your 2-drop aren't really gonna swing this all that
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. I'll reinforce. I'll take 5.
Okay.
39. Cool. Bloody turn must continue, I'm afraid. So how do I do this? I think I have to team attack as much as it's painful to do it. So this does trigger Dazzler's power, which is
Ping for 2.
whenever it is 2. Whenever character you control team attacks, target opponent loses 1 endurance and an attack of 2. I'm still receiving the +2 from Cannonball, whom you conveniently left in play. So my attack is
11.
11.
So I've got to stun Zorn, because he's going to cause all sorts of trouble if I don't.
Yep.
But I will lose my visible 5-drop as a defender,
Yep.
which is a little scary. I think I've got a way to deal with
I'm gonna hope that that's a lie.
Dazzler.
So
And
many
by
other lies.
Dazzler, I mean Psylocke. I'm going to
You
deal with
remember
Psylocke.
Dazzler.
Dazzler
Dazzler,
Psylocke.
Dazzler
Psylocke. Your attack was what then?
It
11?
was 11, but no breakthrough, of course, because it was a team attack. With team attacks, you do not deal breakthrough. It is just the thing that you do for the stuff.
That was the right choice. Yeah. So I'm going to attack Psylocke
Yeah.
with Dark
You
Thanagard.
don't currently have enough attack.
I don't have enough attack. I'm going to have to be playing some stuff.
That's
I'm going to
true.
play some stuff.
Well, that's even
And
better
that's-
for me.
It's kind of unfortunate because it's not a great amount of some stuff. So I'm going to play Dark Fury. Target Darkseid's lead attack against you control gets +2 attack this attack, and an additional +2 attack if it came into play this turn. Dark Thanagarian did not come into play this turn. So that
right
puts me
now you
up
are
to 7.
You're tied, which of course forces me to use export.
Oh
base.
no, I could not have
Surprise.
foreseen this.
Yeah.
So then I will play an oft unused card.
Yeah.
Substitute Heroes.
Okay.
Target substitute attacker you control gets +X attack this attack, where X is the cost of a character that left play while under your control
Which
this
was
turn.
2.
That character cannot cause breakthrough.
Mm.
So, because I had a copy of Betty Kane, the 2-drop who left
right.
play this turn, I am now +2 attack.
So you are 1 over me
That
at
is
this
correct.
point. All right, I'm going
That
to
is
review
correct.
my options for shenanigans, which I do think I'm a bit short on. a little disappointed I'm not going to get to deal you a bazillion points of breakthrough attack with Psylocke. That was something I greatly wanted to do. I don't think I can stop this stun. So what is my best option? I think my best option is to read this card. Nope,
Okay.
I meant this one.
Okay.
So I'm going to play Memory Probe. As an additional cost, to play Memory Probe, exhaust a mental character you control. Look at the top X cards of your deck, where X is the cost of the character you exhausted. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of the deck. Because there's no stamp on the type of card this is, I do not have to reveal what goes into my hand. Oh, that card is really good, but none of these are exactly what I wanted. Interesting. I must choose this card. That is a clear choice. But the others are not terrible. And then I am going to be stunned.
I will also be
I do.
stunned.
So, but I stun you back. Yep. So I take 4. I don't take any breakthrough according to the card. Throw your life dice around.
I have trouble holding things.
Fair. That's fair. Well,
Still ahead, man.
you've used up. I will like to point out there's a couple things happening at the start of the recovery phase. This will not affect your board state, so you can make your decision if you're so inclined. But the first thing to recognize is that I'll pay 0 endurance to ping you for 2.
Oh
Your
no!
release power.
Stop that.
And then I'm going to reveal this card. This is Harry's Hideaway.
Oh good, I'll replace that next turn.
Yeah. Well, no, you won't actually.
Maybe I will.
You will not.
Why not?
I'm going to discard a card and replace Harry's Hideaway.
Oh, I guess that's all.
Yoink. That replaces from the top of my deck. That's
Yeah.
I'm going to look at this card. Okay, that's interesting. Choose one. Recover target stunned character. Cost 2 or less. Or recover a stunned X-Men of 3 or less. Or, pardon me, 4 or less. I, of course, recover Zorn, and then will pay 0 endurance to recover Cyclops, and then I will choose to recover Psylocke as my 1 predetermined recovery of the turn. So I am doing my best to have a ridiculous number of characters, which is great. So I'm just going to I'm going to stack up, if you don't mind, these plot twists that can't be used for anything else, just to make a little more resource room.
Oh, I'm gonna go to the 2-row thing again.
Yep, that works. That works.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
And now we enter turn 7. You are going odds, so I'm going to be eating an attack this turn, which I don't want, but I'm going to.
Well, this is actually an annoying power for you, for Cyclops.
Oh no.
I will be recruiting Coriander, Starfire. Her power is cosmic. At the start of your attack step, this is one of these powers we need to errata. So this actually states, though it says at the start of my attack step, it says at the start of my first attack step this turn.
Yes.
I may discard a substitute card. If I do, the controller of target character moves it to a position of my choice in the same row.
You have to discard a substitute character.
I must discard a substitute character to do
Boy, that can cause me real problems here.
And I will actually be, in order to fire my power, substituting Beast Boy for Beast Boy. The Beast Boy I'm substituting is actually a 3-drop for that 5-drop. This Beast Boy says, when he comes into play, put a 1/1 counter on him for each resource you control. That is 7. So he's actually only 1 point smaller than the Beast Boy I replaced.
Fair.
But he also was a substitution, so I get to draw a card, and he's not a Darkseid's elite character, so I don't get to replace anything. But still,
wow, that's
I'm going to go ahead and draw a card. And you know what? I'm going to reveal that I have another Furnace of Apocalypse, and I'm going to use it to draw a card. So locations have a property in this game called uniqueness, and uniqueness means only one of them can be in play at a time unless otherwise specified. So because the Furnace of Apocalypse was unique, by revealing a second copy, I must KO my first copy.
Yes. Well, that's drawing a card there. Just, it's worth noting, other things can have unique. Locations have unique by default, as do characters. But certain equipment, like the Blackbird, also have unique, which it explicitly states on there, because the default state of equipment is that they are not unique. So I can only have one Blackbird in play. Now, is that how you form?
Yeah, I think so. And just as a reminder, Dark Champion still has his counter, so characters I control that came into play this turn have flight and range,
Yeah.
or as though they can attack as though they had flight and range, and also +2 attack, and that is both of my visible characters.
Yeah. So, in keeping with that, I am going to recruit Beast, who's a 3-drop. Here's where I'm going to start to have an uphill battle. Beast pays 0 endurance. Search your deck for an equipment card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle your deck. Uses power only once per turn, and only during the recovery phase. And I am actually going to form with Cannonball here, I think. Formation step is very critical because it determines your flexibility and reinforcement. Now I know Median has the ability to move one of my characters, but it's still to my advantage to form as difficultly as I can and to make him use that power.
Well, I think I'm going to move Cannonball.
You move him to an unreinforceable position, I assume?
Let me think. I could move Jubilee. That actually might be better. So let's move Jubilee to the same row, not adjacent to anyone. And in order to do that, this is such a good character. Well, I think I must discard Dark Lantern.
I'm just shifting. So I'm going to keep Jubilee on camera, but we'll remember she's not really next to anyone. She's over there somewhere.
And then I will be attacking Cannonball with this.
Yep. Of course you will. Boy, oh boy.
I think that might be the swing in my favor.
That ain't nothing, that's for sure.
And I'm going to take a lot of pings still this turn, but
Yep.
I'm going to get to hit you pretty hard if you don't attack very carefully.
Yep.
And you don't have much flight left.
Yep. And by much you mean none. So, with that in mind, you are an 8.
Oh. While Kyle is considering, I think he's got some considering to do here. I want to go back to the KO, the location I did earlier, because it's very important to note that because the location was one of my resources, I am now playing with one fewer resources than Kyle is.
Yes.
I elected to do that in this deck because I know that I have no characters that cost more than 7. So I'm not going to need 8 resources at a given time. So I have KO'd down to 6, and I'll be able to replace the one I KO'd next turn to have a 7 again.
Yeah. So this forces
If we get to
me,
next turn. I think we will. I think this is not the final turn. I think next turn is probably the final turn.
that seems likely. So I am going to power up. So now I have 4 attack.
This is a strange thing that you're saying. Stop saying things.
Then I'm going to flip X Corp Hong Kong.
I'm going to replace that next turn,
Activate it.
maybe.
Probably. Target X-Men character you control and all other characters you control at the same cost get +1 attack this turn. So all of my 2-cost characters, which is just those 2, get +1 attack for the turn.
Okay.
Now I have 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm then going to flip. Wait for it. The card in my hand called Turnabout. Plotters may be played from your hand or your resource row. Target X-Men character you control gets +3/+3 this turn while attacking. Oh, is that just attacking? Or defending against a character with greater cost.
Okay.
My attack is now
It's
8.
tied with my defense.
Yes.
So this power-up is probably very tragic.
Very useful. I will take 2 breakthrough and 2 for the stun for 4.
Only 2? Wow. Really?
I got +3/+3 and powered up.
Dang.
So it didn't take much damage, but you did thwart my I played everything play.
Barely.
Barely. I had to go for it because
Sure,
if I
sure.
got that stun, it would be a
that would
pretty
have changed the
big
equation.
swing.
The calculus, that's a good word. Would have
Boy.
changed the calculus quite a bit
Yes,
of
it
this
would have.
of this game.
Boy, that is a thing. I'm just gonna evaluate you. So all your characters have flight. All your characters have
+2 attack.
yeah.
Were you considering that?
No, but you can stun any one of my characters anyway, because all of my characters are very tiny.
Well, I mean, I just attacked you. Were you considering that in your breakthrough?
I thought you were not teamed up. Did you team up?
Characters I control that came into play this
Ooh.
turn are +2 attack.
I was not.
And can attack as though they
I
had flight and
was
range.
Alright, so I think... Beast, Dazzler, and Jubilee will attack
11?
Beast Boy,
11.
as I must. My attack is... Do I need to use all of them? Maybe I don't. I think I can leave Jubilee out. That attack is 8. That ties
It's
you
10.
exactly. Oh no, that is
10. It's over me. It's over me by 2, right?
10?
Your 2 drops are +2 this turn.
Plus 1.
Ah,
So that's 9. So that's
You're
1 over you.
over me.
You did already power up once, so that's pretty
And you're
safe.
really going to hit... No, I don't have anything. That's
Yeah, we'll do that. That's a pretty
going
reasonable
to
play.
work.
So, as a reminder, you are pinged for 2 apiece because the Cyclops throws an additional 1 apiece from Dazzler, so it's a ping of 6.
Ouch! Stop that.
That's all I got.
Stop it. Well, it means that I must stun Dazzler because she can continue to ping me this
Again,
turn, whereas
take 2.
Cyclops ain't gonna do much. Oh, and also I'm stunned, which I didn't even calculate yet. So.
Yeah, so there's another thing I'm going to do after the stun takes place,
Son of a gun.
which is this card, but I need to read it. So this card is very useful. Boy. I'm going to play Extreme Maneuver. To play Extreme Maneuver, play it only during your attack step. It's an additional cost to play it. Exhaust 2 X-Men characters you control.
This is going to be bad for me, whatever it is.
That is so. But what to do? Oh man, that's stupid. Do I have to do that? That's so stupid. I think it's Psylocke and Cyclops.
What? How interesting.
Exhaust target character. That character cannot ready this turn, and its
Oh.
controller loses endurance equal to its cost.
Ooh, dang. I assume you target.
Yeah,
Starfire.
so that is what I'm targeting Starfire regardless. I'm going to think for one more second about if it's these
Exhaust,
two
that's
or these two. You are at 8. You are at 8. Interesting. It is these two.
You think you can get me with either Psylocke or Cyclops, which may be true. I'm not sure if you can't.
Let me look. I'm looking at stuff. I got this thing. I got that thing. Yeah. All right. There we go.
I
I
want
did
to
a
point
thing.
out
I did a thing. That's
That
where I'm at.
even though I'm playing a substitute deck, this is quite devastating because I can only substitute characters that are ready. So because Coriander cannot ready this
Oh
turn,
yeah, she
at
is
the
far
beginning
less
of
useful.
next turn, she is unsubstitutable.
Though her power is not activated, so you could fire that next turn. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you are playing confidently as though you have the means to get me. And if you do, there's not really anything I can do about that. Boy. I actually don't have much offense on Dark Champion. I thought I had more.
10 is not terrible.
So now I must wager. So obviously I must make an attack with Dark Champion. I can attack Psylocke, which is a pretty certain attack,
Yeah,
and it's pretty certain that I won't be stunned.
it's fair.
But Cyclops has 1 more point of attack, which means he's 1 more point closer to stunning Coriander.
Also
I
true.
suppose if he stuns Coriander, I don't lose, but I will be in pretty bad a situation.
True. I will point out, encourage you not to forget about Jubilee's power. Where if she is around at the start of the recovery phase, I may pay 0 endurance to ping you for 2.
So there's lethal on the board.
If I get a
So-
counter stun, or if I get Coriander,
Is it
and Jubilee is still around,
posturing?
could be. I'm often full of crap.
Or is it genuine?
Well, I only have 2 cards in my hand and 2 face down.
Folks watching at home, please vote now.
Please vote now. Phone a friend.
I'm going to pray that it's posturing, and I'm actually going to attack Psylocke with Dark Champion.
Yeah. So I am going to boost her defense by 1 to reduce the breakthrough attack. So your attack is... He did not come into play this turn?
He did not, so it is just 10.
So my defense is 8 because I boosted it by 1. So I will soak 4 of it and take 6.
I'm going to go 0 for 3 tonight.
I'm at 18. Well,
this was a very bad draw, so I'm not surprised that
it was very strange. I do not have the kill shot on the table, but I do have a card I'm going to play, which is useful. I got 2 cards. We're going to start with this one. Rebirth. As an additional cost to play it, exhaust an X-Men character you control. I will exhaust Cyclops. Recover each stunned character adjacent to the character you exhausted, with cost less than or equal to.
That's a tremendously good card.
And so I will, of course, recruit Dazzler. And then I must pass, but just for kicks I'm also going to flip X-Corp Paris and activate it. So look at the top X cards in my deck, where X is the cost of X-Corp locations I control, which is 3. I have Hong Kong, Paris, and Amsterdam. Put any number of those cards on the bottom of your deck, and the rest on the top, in any order. Oh, man. I must do that. Wow, I think I keep 2 of them on top. That kind of blew my mind. So, of course, I use Zorn's ping you for 2 with Jubilee's power. And with Zorn's power, I will recover Psylocke.
This is going to be your initiative. Oh, I'm so dead.
I'm at 2. I think I got you, but I'm going to have a lot of tiny, vulnerable characters. So I'm going to deal you a lot, but I'm probably only going to get 1 real attack. So we're going to see how this goes. So I have Professor X. He has pay 0 endurance to draw a card, but I can only do that during the recovery phase. So that will be... just a question. So Starfire's power, can you fire that at any time?
At the start of my first attack step.
Right.
So you can even take it off the table.
Good.
Where you do acquire enough flight, which you already have.
Which I do have.
You have all the flight you could want.
So I think I form like this. Man, I got my little army. It's interesting. A lot of times I play this, they get some early game setup, but they don't have enough cards on the table to support their recovery stuff, or all of it. And this time I'm getting to do it. It's oddly more useful late game. This is weird. This is a weird game. So I will form thus and such.
I do finally have my team up, which means I am going to get to replace something this turn.
Yes.
This team up has the additional power. Darkseid's elite substitute characters I control that enter play this turn get +1 attack. I will then play from my hand Titans of Tomorrow. And Titans of Tomorrow is one of those cards I hate because I have to make some choices that specifically rely on remembering my deck composition. Titans of Tomorrow says, play only during the build phase, which it is for me. Choose a cost and team affiliation among characters you control. Of course, the team affiliation is irrelevant now that I'm teamed up, but the cost is very important. I will not be choosing 6 or 7. I will be choosing 3. So I will be searching my deck for a 3-drop.
Right.
And my hope is I was smart enough to load up on more Beast Boys. Because putting Beast Boy back into play this turn makes him a little bit stronger.
Is that true? You may have cost yourself a resource
right.
previous
Well,
turn. So
I still want to do a substitute.
Yeah,
this
of course,
turn,
of
so
course.
I will look for something to substitute. Although whatever I substitute for Beast Boy is not going to be as strong as Beast Boy.
He'll be exact. He could be exactly as strong as Beast Boy.
Yeah, well, I do not have another Beast Boy. I have I've gone through 3 Beast Boys. There is not a 3rd Beast Boy in here. So now I must choose if I actually want to do the substitute. So the character I do get is Dark Firestorm.
Yeah.
When Dark Firestorm comes into play, I draw a card. That would reduce my attack, including my visible attack, by quite a bit. Were I to substitute him into
Whether or not that's
now,
a
let me
good
look
idea,
at the character I'm actually going to recruit this turn before I make that call. Of course, he's going into my hand, so I don't have to choose to substitute him right
True.
away.
True.
So that happened. Dark Firestorm is in my hand. You're not actually going to do anything this turn other than be another big character.
Yeah.
I do get to... Oh no, I haven't substituted yet. I have to substitute to get to do the draw. I have to substitute also to get to do the replace, which I will finally do. Well, things ain't looking too bright over here for our hero, so I'm going to do the substitute, and we're going to hope our fortune turns around. So I'm going to lose the very large Beast Boy to get somewhat less large Firestorm, but that lets me do 2 things. One, Firestorm automatically draws me a card when he enters play. I can activate this here Furnace of Apocalypse to draw a card. And then I can reveal that I had yet another Furnace of Apocalypse to draw a 3rd card.
And so far you've not actually spent any resource points.
Also, as I substitute a character, I kind of did this all sloppy, I should have done this first. As I substitute a character, I replace something. And you have a look at your cards one, which I don't care much about.
Yeah, that's this one.
+1 defense, which is a good candidate. What does your other one do?
+1 attack for all characters of a single cost for the turn.
That's probably the one I want to get rid of, as much as I hate the defense.
So I will observe, you may do that, but it does not target an attacker. That is to say, I can fire it in response to your targeting it, though it preemptively causes me to make a decision. The same applies for... Actually, no. So this one I can only fire on an attack.
Shucks.
But this one I can fire in response if I know what my first attack will be.
Well, you kind of do. So I'll do the defense one then. Thanks for the heads up.
Yep.
Oh,
This card will be
boy,
great.
I wish
can't wait to thwart you with it.
I wish.
So one of the fun interactions I just got to point out is whenever you replace an opposing resource, one of the cards from their deck, on the top of their deck, goes into my resource row. So sometimes, most of the time I should say, it's a team-stamped plot twist, meaning it requires the opposing team affiliation to play, which I wouldn't have, so it's worthless, or a character, which is usually also worthless. But every now and then, it is a non-team stamped plot twister location, which lets me, the other player do absurd things. So it's always a little bit of a roll of the dice and can add some amusement in the proceedings.
So who I'll actually be recruiting is... Cassie Sandsmark. Cassie Sandsmark's power is... Cassie Sandsmark has invulnerability while in combat with a character of a greater cost. That is nobody in Kyle's deck.
Yep, the whole deck.
So she's just a 12-13, which is not terrible.
Yeah, that's not terrible. That is not terrible. Yep. So, yeah.
But I'm going to lose before I get to my attack step this turn, so...
Well, did I knock that? Was I at 16 or 18? Maybe it was 18. So I am going to... I'm going to deal you some damage, but you are also going to deal me some damage. So this is going to be... something. So I guess...
I will point out, sometimes we reveal some of the ironies of our situations to each other
Yes.
when it's no longer relevant. I do have 2 copies of Vic Stone in my hand. Now, Vic Stone is a 5-drop with a boost 2. I can't play that boost for 2 reasons.
Yes.
Number 1 is...
You're out of Beast Boys.
I got excited and revealed my location before I recruited. So I'm down to 6 resources again. So I can't spare it. But his boost, as you pointed out, is actually, yes, to go search for one of the 3-drop Beast
The
Boys,
which you
that I don't have.
Yeah, I will say this. I think the order of operation... Well, I guess, depending on when you did it, the resource points are...
You could argue that
You
I
could
still
argue
yeah,
that you could get away with that.
Cassie is better because I don't have a Beast Boy.
No.
Had I a Beast Boy, he would have been a
Yeah.
pretty good play.
Oh, yeah, very much so. As it turns out, however, the attack looks like this. So, as a reminder of the factors in effect,
So I'm going to go to negative
you're
3,
immediately
I
pinged
think.
for 9. That's right. Your characters adjacent to Cyclops, when they attack, it's pinged for 2, and team attackers pinged for 1. So that is 3 plus 6.
And you were attacking Starfire? Or
I'm going to
Cassie?
attack Cassie. I think it is more valuable to just take attack off the table. So my attack is
It's probably
16.
true. So
The only character you cannot stun is Cannonball, who cannot be stunned
Right.
while attacking.
I will, of course, stun Dazzler, and because you have many characters of greater cost. Oh wait,
Yes.
6. I could have negative 9. Oh, that was
16.
depressing.
I got a bunch of weenies.
There's so much attack still on the table, and I should take some off, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, well, by taking out, say, Cannonball, for example, you do actually remove quite a bit of attack.
That's true.
If he were the one you were to go for.
Boy, is it?
You could move some Cyclops adjacent
That's
to some other
true.
characters.
I still have.
Mhm.
I still have.
Yes,
What I have
you do.
is the ability to fire Coriander's ability to fire her ability. How did I do this last turn? So I could swing through Cannonball unreinforcedly.
That's true.
Boy, you still have so much attack on the table.
That
though,
is
and
true.
It is risky. I have to take some more of your attack off the table. No, it might be the correct choice. All right, so I'm going to discard this here Duel Dent
To fire the power.
to fire Coriander's power, and we are going to move Cyclops adjacent to no one in the same row.
Well, technically.
You should keep him on camera.
So
a little
I'm
bit.
gonna-
You can scrunch up a little.
Yeah, again, using Yellow Dice, we'll just recognize that he is not adjacent, even though they're a little bit near.
Yowza. And I think I just clobber Cannonball?
Yeah, not terrible.
I guess.
Not terrible.
I guess we clobber Cannonball again.
Well, I wish I had some cool reinforcement trick or plot twist, but I don't.
So that gets a lot of attack off the table.
And it
but
hurts
not
a lot,
all
too.
of the attack off
It
the
hurts
table.
too. So your attack is 10 still, is that correct, as
Yes.
printed? I will take 10. I'm at 6. Goodbye, 10s column. You were great. So now,
So many ready attackers.
that's a lot. It's a good number.
I do not like the number of ready attackers you have.
So Coriander has
She's as printed. She's not modified in any way.
14. I do this to be sure. You still have an attacker. I guess I just have to hit big to be sure that I get it. So that means I will attack with Professor X and Psylocke for 15, and what the hell will throw in Jubilee for 16 total attack. Now, they aren't adjacent to anyone. My team attacker pinger is down, so the attack is currently as printed for 16.
There's 14 more on the table. Boy, what a washout this was. A blowout. What a wash. And so forth.
Yes,
I guess I hit Professor X.
yes. I mean, I'll be stunned. I'll take 4. I'm down to 2.
I'm at negative 16.
Yeah, my confidence is gradually increasing as this turn progresses.
I mean,
you do have a dude left.
I guess it's to my advantage to, like, it's a closer game if I take some of your attack off the table. I can't quite get Cyclops, so I'm going to take another 9, which is a big negative life total for me. But I can take out Beast.
Yeah.
And my attack is going to
7
be
right now?
8.
8.
8 because of my team-up.
How does this team work again? Sorry.
Characters I control that came into play this turn are
sure.
+1 attack.
Sure. Yeah, I can't. Do I successfully? I do get that counter
Yes,
stun.
I'm
But
not anywhere close to avoiding the counter.
So I do take 3 breakthrough and 3 for the stun. That's
I'll
6
take an
damage.
additional 3.
I am at negative 4, but I do just hit you with Cyclops, and I'm going to give him +1 attack.
And the attack is for 10. So I go to negative 29.
Yeah.
So some games less close.
Yep. Yep. Not all of them can be. That was so bizarre because, again, this deck is only cost 5 or less characters. Very, very few decks do not go generally on curve. It's the vast minority. I think for me, this is my only deck that stops at, well, Checkmate. Checkmate stops at 5. I've got 2 decks that stop at 5. This is one of them. But what was especially odd about this draw is I didn't draw a 1-drop or a 2-drop on turn 1 or turn 2. But I was able to gradually get ahead. I got my ping formation because your draw was also not particularly good.
Yeah, I was not recruiting characters on curve for a while there, and not ever substituting, which is what I want to do pretty much every turn with this deck.
Yeah, it's true, and I've seen you do it, and it's really annoying because then you're drawing tons of cards. The substituting isn't even costing you anything because you're drawing cards to make up for it. You're giving yourself stat bonuses. I thought I was sobering, so I mulliganed my initial hand, which had 2 5-drops and a 4-drop, and drew a 5-drop and a 4-drop, and some other not useful cards. So it was a very alarming start. In fact, in those first 8 cards, I drew approximately 70, well, I guess over 50% of my cards that are 4 or better in the deck. So that was not what I was after. Yeah, your draw was
X
bad.
is a well-constructed deck. They're always they're a deck you have to rush down.
Yep.
Because once they hit their setup, they are capable of dealing so much damage.
Yes,
simply
it adds
via
up a lot.
the pings.
If I get that 9 ping a turn swing, that's a big deal. And of course, I'm trying to.
You
keep
usually
my
don't. I think that's the first time you've actually succeeded in a while with that.
Yep.
Because I know what's coming, and I play to defend against it, and I was just not able to.
It's interesting because in a way, the game going long allowed me to bring Dazzler into play late. Because if I bring her into play on curve, which is still useful, it's harder to keep her around. The early game balancing the recovery against the damage is actually why this deck is still an A deck. It's because it can be picked apart, and when you rush it down early game, you're not actually rushing it down to kill me. You're rushing it down to get character advantage so that you can kill me on curve later on. Because I've got lots of characters, they can all reinforce each other. But if you get ahead of my recovery curve and chew apart my combos, all I have is a couple of 9/9 characters on turn 7 and 8, and you just beat it on curve.
I'm rushing down to break up your setup.
Right.
You have a lot of setup.
That's my point.
And the setup, but once you have the setup, it's so difficult to get in there.
Well, in that one, I had the right combination of stuff for keeping the setup around. So I didn't just get it. I got to kind of pressure you with it for 2 or maybe 3 turns in there, which once is enough. But
I mean, good. At the end of the day, I just got started too little, too late.
Sure. That's true.
When I do my first substitute on turn 6.
That was unbelievable. I couldn't believe that. That was a staggering.
Well, the absurd thing was, as you saw, I drew all the powers that trigger off of it, but none of the cards to drive it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, because you did a ton of stuff once you did a single substitute, you followed up with like 3 things. But the one thing I will say for this deck is the big equalizer is that extreme maneuver card. It's really good.
I mean, like the exhaust is tremendously good. The ping
The ping is
Brutal.
a pain in the ass, and you can't even ready on the next turn. You got like 3
No,
effects.
it's exhausting. Keep exhausted and a ping, and it's just 2 characters.
It's exhaust 2 characters, which to be fair, on an on-curve deck is a huge deal.
Right,
In a
right,
weenie deck,
That's not
not
much
a
of
huge deal.
at all.
Um,
What a potent card.
so it's a very, very potent. And admittedly, if I'm sitting with, say, 4 or 5 characters, which is not atypical. That time I got abnormally high in the character count. I'm usually giving up like a ton of attack and ping because I only have so many characters. But when you get ahead of the curve, it was, when I'm sitting with 8 characters, the card's free.
Yeah.
So if I get to that point, the only limitation it has is it must be on my attack step. So if you get the first attack, you're removing a big portion of my options with that card, often. Because you can hit through, I can't.
Well,
reinforce.
you also do a good job in that deck construction of having just many valuable targets. Like
Yeah.
the Blackbird. I don't know if I've seen you do that. You certainly don't do it every game,
No.
but putting the Blackbird on
Cannonball.
Cannonball,
It's obnoxious.
so obnoxious.
It's really
oh my
obnoxious.
word, that is just.
Oh, I was very proud of that. I think it's the first
angering.
time I've done that.
It is the first time. No, I don't remember it, but I would have. It's a nasty combo.
It's fascinating because my preferred choice, which we didn't see in this game, is Wolverine on 6 with the Blackbird because he's a 5-drop,
but it's huge.
but huge. He's got very weak defense, but he's a free recovery. He recovers himself because he's Wolverine. Free recovery, healing factor. But in a way, now I'm forced to second guess that decision because his low defense means it's actually, when you take him down, even though I get to keep the Blackbird around forever, you can't
lose
get
it
rid
for
of
the
it.
rest of the turn.
Yeah, I don't
But
get
a
it. for very much.
Cannonball.
Yeah.
It's always there as long as he's always in your first
Yeah,
attack.
so I'm going to reconsider optimal placing.
No, don't make this deck worse.
Well, I don't have to change it. That is one of the joys of us playing, is we're often discovering new strategies, even in familiar decks, which is part of the fun. So I guess we should wrap this up.
Yeah, was there any more analysis you really felt compelled to do, or
No,
we'll just say goodbye to our streamers?
Goodbye, viewers and or stream viewers and or
I think
YouTube
that's
viewers.
us. I think we're watching the stream twice, but that's okay.
Goodbye,
I will
me.
be-
It's been a pleasure.
Yes. Thanks for joining us, Kyle.
Yep, Ian. I'm glad you could be here tonight.
Yeah, all right. I'll be uploading this, or I haven't done this portion of our whole deal yet, but I'll be trying to upload this tomorrow, and we're probably gonna get together tomorrow and play some other stuff. So
Yeah, we might.
we might actually do some more streaming, but who knows? We'll play that by ear, but I will try to upload this to YouTube before then, so we can review, and we'll send the link out to all our friends like Chris. Sorry you couldn't be here tonight, Chris. My coworkers and so forth and so on. Your coworkers, I hope you encourage them to take a watch and see.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if this is appealing to anybody.
Yeah.
It's appealing to me. I have a
Yep.
tremendous amount of fun when we're here. I think we say some really, really
Yeah.
funny stuff, and a lot of the impetus for me encouraging us to do the streaming is because I think other people would enjoy it too. But you never know.
Yep. Well, I do enjoy a good impetus.
Yeah, there you go. All right, well, farewell, everyone. I'm going to
Yep.
kill the stream here. Stick my head in
Good
front of
night.
it again as I
Farewell.
want to
Dive
do.
your hair into the frame. It's for the
Yeah,
best.
Yeah.